experiment.
Well, if it was valid, you'd be able to do that.
That's incorrect.
Oh, really? You couldn't use geometry to determine? You couldn't use 3D trigonometry, spherical trigonometry, to determine the distance of the sun? You should be
The
able
exact
to.
distance? No.
Even a rough number, bro.
You can get a minimum, but you can't get a maximum. Like a certain distance, you're not going to resolve that to any meaningful discrete distance.
So it doesn't prove that. This is what he was talking about. There's a whole bunch of assumptions that you have to assume in order to take even the very first measurement as any kind of data point. You have to assume that the sun's light rays are parallel in the case of Eratosthenes. We do not treat the sun's rays towards Earth as parallel. You ever seen an eclipse?
You don't have to assume that. Yep, you don't have to assume that. I specifically state my assumptions. My assumptions are simply that light travels straight unless deflected or obscured, and that mathematics represents the world in a reasonably one-to-one measure. Those are my two assumptions. And then I take the angles that we do measure physically in the world, and I give various heights for the various distances for the sun, and most of them don't make sense. The ones that do make sense are the sun being very, very far away.
Yeah, so
it's not an assumption beforehand.
If you don't assume that the sun rays are parallel, right, then how do you draw your triangle? To use Eratosthenes' method. He explicitly assumed that the sun rays were parallel. That's the baseline requirement in order to use trig.
Yes, he did. I don't do that. I don't have to do that. You don't
use trig.
Because I can change. I do use trigonometry, but you can change. The whole contention with Eratosthenes was that you can do the same thing on a flat Earth with a local sun, was it not? That's the whole issue with Eratosthenes?
If you use Eratosthenes' method and you presume flat topography, you get a distance of like 4,000 miles or something like that.
Exactly. Yes, and that's all in what I laid out. So you can change the shape of the Earth, right, that baseline, and you get different heights for the same angles. And all of that is laid out.
Basically, the circumference of the Earth becomes the height of the sun.
Kind of. It's a little more complicated than that.
The globular circumference of the Earth, he claimed to calculate, becomes the height of the sun on a flat plane.
Right.
If you
the issue, though, is that the problem is that Eratosthenes only used 2 data points, and he used 1 location. And I use 10 locations across 4 longitudes. And I do it over at 6 hours apart.
That's fine.
So, yeah, you can no longer get a flat Earth from that.
Dude, yeah, okay. You think that because you have more than 2 points, that the surface of the ground can't be curved? So are the light rays parallel or not? Hold on, real quick. Are the light rays parallel or not?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. Well, they're not, so your whole thing is dumb. I'm sorry. If the sun's rays were parallel, we would not have eclipses.
We would.
They wouldn't behave like they do. They wouldn't be predictable.
They would be, yeah.
No, they're okay. You literally don't know what you're talking about, bro. Please get out of here.
Yo, don't you also have to presuppose the size of the sun?
Nope.
Its diameter?
Not for my experiment.
No, you just have to have a ratio between its size and its distance. You have to maintain that.
Distance. Yeah, size and distance.
Yeah, you have to maintain the ratio.
Yes. So if you do that and you make the sun, there's certain distances to height ratios that will cause discrepancies in the actual shadows cast, and that's another thing that sort of invalidates the Earth being flat.
Oh my gosh, bro, it's like so tiring, dude. Ugh. They think that they can point to the shadows that the sun makes, bro, and be like ground ball.
Yeah.
Because light parallel.
Not because light parallel.
It has to, dude. If the light wasn't parallel, your method would be invalid.
But you don't assume that at the beginning. The light being parallel comes out of the data, It's not assumed beforehand.
Oh my gosh, no, it
Dude, I posted my experiment. If you want to take a look at it and then see if I haven't answered these questions, that's fine. But I address all of this stuff.
Okay. In actual astronomy, the light coming from the sun is not truly parallel. Eratosthenes
No,
treated it as parallel.
correct. I said virtually parallel.
Left edge of the sun shoots at an angle to the right side of the Earth, and the right side of the sun shoots at an angle to the left side of the Earth, and the middle shoots towards the
Correct.
middle. That's not parallel.
That's virtually parallel. By the time it gets to Earth,
Oh
those
my
angles are
gosh.
extremely acute.
That's presuppose.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you're
said the
presupposing
entire
it.
time. No, you're not presupposing it.
What's
I
the
just
angular size
said
of
you
the
don't have
sun?
to assume that for the experiment.
What's the angular size of the sun?
Half a degree.
Okay. So there's a minimum spread of half a degree.
Yes.
From the midpoint to each edge. So from edge to edge, you have at least a degree.
No, you have a half a degree from edge to edge of the whole sun is half a degree.
The two sides would pinch and make like a hourglass shape in the middle, and then spread back out to the other side. It's going to converge and then diverge again.
Other side of what?
The midpoint between Earth and Sun. Either way, we don't have to strain at gnats right here. Half a degree or a degree, either way. It doesn't that's not the point. The point is you have this minimum angular spread. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's before we talk about, all the things that light does as it travels through distance. That's just the baseline angle that we're starting out. That's by the time it travels, 92 million miles, these rays have spread out a lot, but you still have straight line rays from each point on the sun to each point on the Earth.
Yeah, with a maximum of half a degree.
You don't treat the sun as a flat disk shooting towards the Earth. The sun is
No,
spherical.
in my experiment, I treat it as a point source.
Yeah, it's
That
not a
half a
point
degree.
source.
Well, that doesn't matter for this experiment. Its size and that spread is beyond the scope of this experiment.
Okay.
That doesn't have any bearing on this experiment.
So your minimum precision will be half a degree, okay, because you're not accounting for the fact that it's not parallel. So your minimum error, rather, I should say, your minimum error would be half a degree. If we adjust the numbers on your trig, any of the numbers from half a degree, do you know how wildly that changes the distance to the sun?
Not enough to get a flat Earth.
Oh my gosh.
To get a flat Earth, for my data, you would need a discrepancy of 30 degrees. That's how much.
No, you're treating
different it
everything
is.
as parallel, bro.
Yeah.
You
Well,
also assume
I'm treating it as a point source.
You also assume that, and this is like another layer of assumptions. You assume a heliocentric model. You assume an empty space model. You assume that when you look straight at the sun, you're actually seeing the physical sun where it physically is. So there's not a projection you're seeing. You're assuming all these things, bro. There's so many different assumptions layered into it. Like, we don't grant
I'm
you.
not making. No, I'm not. Hold on. Wait. Let me just address those because you listed a bunch of stuff. First of all, you said you also assume where you haven't really established that I assumed anything in the first place. Number two,
I don't grant you
I'm
outer
assuming
space.
that the light that we see is coming from a light source. Now, that light source we call the sun. It could be a projection. It could be an angel flashing us. It doesn't matter what it is. That again is beyond the scope of this experiment. But light comes from a source, and that's what I'm using as my measurement.
So you assume that where you see the sun is where it is, or whether you see the light source, whether you call it. Hold on, bro. Don't interrupt me. Whether it's a sun or whether it's a light source, whatever you call it, I look, there it is. That's where I see it. That's the source, right? You presume that it's perfectly straight lines everywhere, that there's no arcing, no bending, no curving, that there's no lensing, that there's not a firmament, that there's outer space and empty space in between. Like, you understand that we would have to grant all that to even begin to accept your experiment and say, if we grant all these presumptions, then we treat the light as approximately parallel, and We take all these measurements and we assume, based on the graticule, that the GP of the celestial sphere corresponds to a real sphere. Then we can use spherical trig and see how it works.
There's no spherical trig in what I did.
I bet you didn't know that you can use that. There's a conversion from the Haversine to a flat plane. Did you?
So none of those things are required for my experiment. You just listed a bunch of things you assume are assumptions, and none of them are.
I literally asked you if it would work if it was parallel, and you said no, but that's not till the end that you found that out anyway.
If what would work if it were parallel?
If your experiments would work, if they would yield valid conclusions, if the light wasn't parallel.
Depends how not parallel the light would be.
Oh
but
my gosh!
Up to a certain point,
I'm out of here.
There's
I'm sorry.
tolerances. I lay out. All right, bye.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Jesus.
I pointed at the sky and proved the shape of the ground. Got it. Cool. But we measured the ground and we couldn't measure what you claim that there is there. So you got to point to the sky and say the sky proves it. And I'm like, look at the ground though. You're like, no, I'm looking at the sky to prove the ground.
Yeah, we can do
measure the
that.
ground.
I mean, if we're changing subjects, we have measured the ground, and it's still a ball. But if we're talking about my experiment, we can absolutely look at the sky and talk about what the ground is doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's called a
You need to get over
Freudian
yourself.
slip. That's called a Freudian slip. Still a ball. You got your conclusions and your thought processes backwards. And also earlier you said something hilarious. You said it's beyond the scope of the well, you have to pay attention, but regardless, you said that these things that were brought up are beyond the scope of the experiment. If that's the case, then your conclusion is beyond the scope of reality.
Where's that video? Someone needs to share the video with this guy where they show the flat circular table and they take like 15 points around the circle, or maybe it's like 18 or something like that, and they have this like 18 different sticks and they measure the shadows on a grid and with nails. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
So is it?
What he does, it is. So he has a cardboard cutout of a circle, right? And he has a lens in that circle. Basically, he has to obscure the light coming from outside of that narrow circle he's made, and he has to lens the light in a certain way inside that circle to get the same result.
The lens is BS, dude. I believe in a lens. I think there's a firmament. So I think that you were seeing a collimated You're seeing a collimated projection of the sun every time you look in the sky.
That still doesn't work.
Why wouldn't it work? Specifically,
because you have to. Because it's not just the lensing; you have to obscure the other light.
What do you mean the other light? The only light that would be the point on the bottom of the firmament where the collimated projection came through. You wouldn't see the sun itself behind the firmament. You can't see that.
You would. So what you're talking about is
cardboard. Just like with the cardboard covering the bulb, you only see the part where it comes out the bottom.
So okay, so let's say that there's one opening that's lensed where the light comes through. What's happening over the heads of everybody else?
What do you mean what's happening over their heads? Once the light comes through the bottom of the firmament, right? It does what it naturally does. It spreads out, it diffracts.
Yeah, it doesn't work. If that's what you're saying and everything inside is not lensed, then everybody everywhere on Earth would always see that light source.
No, they wouldn't.
Have to be lensed in a way.
Infinitely far.
It does.
Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah. Prove to me light travels infinitely far. Give me empirical evidence that light travels infinitely far. I want some empirical evidence.
What's obscuring? What do you mean empirical evidence? You're asking me to prove negative.
In the atmosphere, buddy. I can take you outside on a cold night with a lot of fog, and I can turn a flashlight on, and if I walk far enough away, you won't see the flashlight anymore. It doesn't travel infinitely far. It attenuates.
Okay, so show me the fog. Show me the fog that's always present, always at a certain distance. That's obscuring the light when it comes in. That's not fog.
Oh my gosh, this is a retard level conversation. I'm so sorry, dude.
I'm sorry. You're telling me if there's fog and you shine a flashlight at a certain distance, I won't see it anymore. If there's not fog, if there's still atmosphere.
If you can't draw the parallel between a fog blocking a flashlight over enough distance and the entire atmosphere of the whole Earth combined blocking another light source at a different distance, I don't know how to help you, bro. You think
If
you can't
that were the
understand
case,
how to connect
What if
those
there's
things?
no fog?
if that were the case, then you would have radically different times every night for sunrise and sunset. Every night and every morning, you'd have radically different times depending on the weather. It's too consistent for that to be the case. Does that make sense? That the atmosphere is what's determining how far the light can
It
travel,
does do that
and weather
throughout the
what.
year. Sunrise and
Here, I'm
sunset
talking
change
about day
throughout
to
the entire
day.
year, bro. Every day they
No,
change.
yeah, by like a minute. That's the whole point. Is you can
Yeah.
essentially set your watch by it. There's some variation there, but it's not on the scales that you're talking
Dude,
about.
it can vary by a lot, bro. It can vary by a lot more than you think if you get the conditions right.
Not nearly enough as you need.
5 to 10 degrees. Yeah, try again. There's places where they've seen sunrises 2 weeks too early in the winter.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
bull crap. That's bull crap.
No, it's not. We've talked about it in here before. Now you're playing the selective forgetfulness game.
No, show you'll have to prove it. You just talk about it, and I want to see that.
All right, hold on.
And then compare that to SunCalc, roll the time back to whatever your date that you're trying to show, and see what it says.
It's the Zemlya effect. Hold on. Can you hear me? No,
Yeah.
the Novaya Zemlya effect. The Novaya Zemlya effect causes rays of sunlight to travel through an inversion layer in the atmosphere for hundreds of kilometers. The sunlight must bend to the Earth's curvature at least 400 kilometers to allow an elevation rise of 5 degrees for sight of the sun's disk.
Okay, so it says is the Zemlya effect is a polar mirage caused by high refraction of sunlight between atmospheric thermal layers, often causing.
The
Often
atmosphere
causing.
changed sunrise times. Look at that, buddy. You just said
Hold
it
on,
doesn't
hold on,
happen, and
wait,
now it does. Are you going to retract your statement? Let's see if you do.
No. Let me finish
Okay,
talking.
yeah, exactly.
Often
Okay, exit the
appearing as a
conversation. You're done.
flattened-
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Often
Goodbye.
appearing as a flattened,
Goodbye.
rectangular, or stacked shape. You piece of shit. That's not what we see every goddamn day when the circular
Look at you
sun
cussing now. Look
rises.
at you cussing. You got so mad because you got proven wrong. You
Because you're
can't stand
trying
it.
to cut me off.
Go back to your
Because you're
closet,
trying to
bro.
cut
Go
me
back.
off because you knew the fucking SmackDown was coming. Don't cut me
No,
off.
no,
Let me
no, no,
say
no.
what my bullshit nonsense, and then you can tell me why it's bullshit and nonsense. Don't fucking cut me off. So again, you would get wildly different sunrises and sunsets if that were the case, if it were based on the weather. Like this Zemlya effect that you just posted, which looks nothing like a regular sunset that you see every day.
Buddy, the amount of atmospheric refraction necessary to change the behavior of the sun in a meaningful way, averaged out across the whole Earth, has to be massive. That's why it's rare, right? You have a really, really, really big, really, really, really bright ball that has a really, really, really large radius of light. In order to meaningfully change that radius of light across the entire distance, you would have to have locally extremely strong differences in atmosphere, like here in the Novaya Zemlya effect. There's locally crazy, ridiculous changes in the atmosphere, or the average change in the whole atmosphere would have to change a lot, which that part is the part that is what you don't see, right? You don't see like the whole entire atmosphere of the whole Earth changing so much across the entire radius of light of the whole sun that it changes it meaningfully. If it did, then you would see that. But that's just not something that statistically average happens.
So what I don't see is the base atmospheric conditions having any effect on how far light can travel. That's what I'm
Because
not
the
seeing in
amount
any
of
of them.
change would be absurd. Okay. So the Novaya Zemlya effect, right? It requires this crazy super rare. It's only been observed a few times in the past like 100 years. Okay. And it's in localized areas when the atmospheric conditions are just perfect. That's a very extreme case to produce that, right? In order for it to change the daily sunlight times, you would have to have that magnitude of change present across the entire radius of the sun's light across the whole Earth. So that's why you don't see what you're talking about.
What you're claiming, again, at the beginning of this, is that the reason the spotlight, this culminated light source that then gets lensed, I guess, locally, isn't visible across vast distances is because the atmosphere is stopping the light from traveling too far. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What you're describing then is that the base atmospheric condition, just the existence of the atmosphere, has some stopping effect on the light. Can you demonstrate that?
Attenuation.
That's not what attenuation is. If it were attenuation, the further you got from it, the sun would just be dimmer. It wouldn't be lower. It wouldn't be a different shape. It would just be dimmer.
It does
That's
get
also not
dimmer,
what we see.
bro. What do you mean that's not what you see? Buddy, at noontime, the sun is a lot brighter than it is at sunset. You can literally measure the lumens and the intensity of the sunlight.
Yeah, but it also gets lower, right? As it gets red in the sky, it also gets lower. You
Because its
wouldn't see it lower. You
position
would
is
only see it.
changing. It moves in the sky. Are you kidding? I'm done with this guy. Oh my gosh, this is
Oh, gosh.
crazy.
Not in the
No,
way you're
there are
describing
days
it.
though. Yeah, there are days at the sunset when I'm like flying west that I can't see where the sun is so bright. I have to shelter my eyes so I can see my instruments on the dash. It's so bright.
And I still say you would get the sun setting at like vastly different times than you do. Anyway, I gotta go. I posted the thing I did, the experiment, if anyone's interested. I have a PowerPoint as well, but I don't think anyone's terribly interested in that. I might drop that at some point. Anyway, you guys take care.
Yep, everything but a globe.
Just read the experiment.
No globe.
Like any distance calculation we're aware of.
Yeah, it's a interesting false dichotomy, but I've heard it before where they say that because attenuation can block the view of the sun, that could be the only thing that's blocking it, and that even when it's highly visible and getting obstructed bottom up, that must still be attenuation due to distance.
Yeah. And stars certainly don't get like massively dimmer like the sun does at sunset as they approach the horizon. If you're in the ocean, the stars at the horizon are just as bright as they were when they were overhead, at least visually. But the stars should be dimming as they get further away at the same rate, but they don't.
You sure?
Now I'm curious. Now, speaking of the sun, so how is the sun making a rainbow?
Well, it's
I don't think the sun
Really?
on its own does not make a rainbow. There's other entities required for it to do so, right?
Yeah, what are those? On the globe model, what is it? What is the cause for a rainbow?
I'll get you a link.
A link? Is it going to be a cartoon? Come on, man.
Yeah, just refraction.
And reflection too. Total internal.
Yeah.
So refraction and reflection cause a rainbow, and this occurs exactly the same every time. So you're saying reflection and refraction can be calculated precisely?
Of water, spherical water drops
Yeah.
suspended in air. Yes.
Yeah, inside a water drop. Yeah.
Spherical water drops in the air. So so what's causing the rainbow?
Let me get you that cartoon.
Is it the water? Is it the water?
It's an emergent property of water and light in the right configuration.
Emergent property of water and light in the right configuration. So the rainbow is being produced by the water.
Yeah, I just gave you the cartoon you wanted in the.
Holy
Nice.
shit! What the fuck is that? That's some bullshit, man. Okay, so
Man, I'll
So
tell you
what's-
what.
what's- what's the
This
cause
is
of
about the
rainbows?
least valuable convo I've ever heard.
well, just because you don't have any
Yeah.
insight on it,
We
you
have
don't
our
have
idea.
anything
What
to
is-
jump
what
up
is your
against
idea?
it. That's why.
What's your idea? What
Well-
do you think it is?
Oh well, the sun is all the colors of the rainbow. That's why there's a rainbow. It's pretty simple.
Well, yes, that part's true. If the sun was red,
Wait,
it would not
but that's
produce
not right.
rainbow.
But that's not right because in the globe model, the sun is just like yellow.
No, incorrect.
Whoa,
You can do a
incorrect.
spectro-
Wait, so
you can
you're
do a
saying that it's
spectrograph
also
measurement of incoming sunlight and see the
so
entire
you're saying
spectrum.
you're saying in the globe model that big ball of flame or fire is also blue, green, purple, orange, red, and yellow and white.
X-ray, ultraviolet. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So it's all colors. So the sun that's in space it's a rainbow.
Yeah. You can take a rainbow and combine it back down into white. Like,
Is there a citation for this?
No, I just tagged you with the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the
Spectrum
cartoons.
output.
I see the
No.
cartoons you're
It's a new one.
presenting.
he's got direct measurements.
It's still a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
Oh, well then what you want to see? You want to look
you
at the
just
sun and
say-
see a rainbow?
Hold on. Did you just say what he presented was a direct measurement? Are you a buffoon, sir? That's a cartoon.
We're not talking about biology.
You said it was
Oh
a
wait, you
direct
said
measurement.
buffoon, not baboon. Sorry.
Yes, I think we have a buffoon in the room.
You can get your own spectrometer. Where is he
Oh,
there?
I can do it myself. Oh, I got
Yeah,
you.
you can. If you doubt,
you can pick any color filter you want. You can go down to the theater supply shop and get the color gels. Like you can get thousands of colors of color gels. Hold it up to the sun, and you can always see the sun through it. Meaning the sun is producing that color of light. Because if it wasn't, it would be black. If you hold up, say the sun isn't red. There's no red in the sun, and you hold up a red filter, it would block
Yeah,
out the
but
sun.
it doesn't make sense. How is it doing that?
Have you ever wondered how the radio in your car can get every different radio station if they're all transmitting on different frequencies all at the same time?
Wow, that was not analogous at all. So
is light,
how
is the color of light
so
the
like
frequency?
so let's check this out. So I light a candle on fire. It's only one color. I turn a
No.
headlight
Do you have
on. It's
measurements
only
of it
one
only being one
color.
color? Do you have measurements
You know,
of that?
I got some LEDs. They're only one color unless they change
No.
color.
Do you have measurements of a candle being only one color?
Well, I can see it.
you
But
must be
you've
trolling
mixed
us.
paints before, right? You've mixed paints to make a color out of two colors, and you see pink, but it's actually red and white, right?
Are we talking about paint or are we talking about light?
Same thing. The light's getting in your eyeballs.
Well, I'm
one way or
sorry.
another.
Paint is the same as light. Are you a buffoon? This is really confusing, man. You are really just. I think that your head has fallen off because paint and light are two totally different things.
Can you see paint in the dark?
Holy crap, dude!
Can you see paint in the dark? Ooh,
You're
look at that.
a miracle.
That's
You're a miracle to be alive.
Yep. Glory be to God.
Wait, so we see some reflections. What is this?
Oh, so you don't know anything about interferometry, do you?
Well, I know that that's some kind of lens thing going on. That's what I know because the lens will make those colors, not
Wait,
the
lens
light
is
itself.
the color? The lens is clear.
That's right. No, the lens has colors to it.
No, it's transparent.
Because they designed those lenses so that when you take photographs, it receives all the colors, and you can also negate colors. That's how camera lenses are made.
Do you
But
know
it's
what
transparent.
do you know what a diffraction grating is and how to use one?
I don't really care. It's
Well,
not really. You're not. So here's the thing. So really, you're not.
No, please. If I get red, green, and blue paint and I mix them together, does that make a white paint? Fucking
No, that-
idiot.
Search. No, do yourself a favor. I love color theory. That's like a hobby of mine. Additive versus
Color
subtractive
theory.
color. Hold up. Hey. Additive versus subtractive color. Why do printers use cyan, magenta, and yellow and not red, green, and blue? Your inkjet printer only has cyan, magenta, and yellow. Do you know why that is?
If I mix those three, do I get white? Because I know if I mix those three colors in light, I get white.
Right. And why is that?
Because it's just like paint.
The way that it is like paint is the light reflected off the paint and into your eyeball, right? That's the connection I was making.
The light reflected off the paint. Man, you're special.
Can you see paint in the dark? No. Ergo, you can only see a paint's color if light reflects off it and gets into your eye hole.
Can you show me light? Just point to it anywhere.
You're looking at a screen, you're seeing light.
Bull Knight, he's just trolling us.
I know.
Has to be.
He's been on a tear for like 24 hours at this point, so I'm running out of material, I think.
I did put a link to some diffraction gratings on Amazon, which are pretty affordable and extremely cool. You can hold them up to any light source, and you can see the colors spread out. It's super, super cool.
Okay, so what we're gathering is at this point, the rainbow pretty much completely debunks the globe altogether.
Wait, why does it work differently on a flat Earth?
Well, because again, the sun is producing all those colors because it is the rainbow. What you're claiming is just ludicrous. You're saying that
Science could
some
be
kind of
wrong
chemical
about how rainbows are
reaction.
formed on a globe.
So yeah, because you're claiming that some kind of like big burning ball that's in space is producing all of the colors, and that's what we're seeing. But that just doesn't make sense because you don't see things that burn produce all of the colors. You've never seen that ever.
The tungsten filament in a incandescent light bulb is producing all the colors too.
Cope. That's cope.
How so? Exactly the same kind of formulation of like how.
So the sun is a tungsten whatever, right?
Hey, maybe it is, and the Earth could still be a globe.
You see,
so I don't know why you're
the
making
problem
the
is that
false equivalence.
no,
Here.
the problem is that they make claims about what the sun is, what it's burning, right? Its chemical
They could be wrong as hell.
composition.
They could be
so
absolutely
they
wrong
could be
about all of
wrong.
that.
Well, then if they're wrong about it, why would you even think that it's true?
About the sun being colors?
Yeah. Why would you try to talk about it? Why would you try to promote it and act like you know something about it? It's weird.
I could be wrong too. I'm sharing my
Yes, what are you doing
understanding
then?
of their explanation. What are you doing?
Yeah, why would you do that? It's hearsay.
No, I've done those experiments myself. I have a
No, you haven't.
spectrometer, a
Don't
color
lie.
spectrometer. I have a color spectrometer that I use for photography that shows you the entire spectrum of any light source, be it the sun or a candle or a studio light or a TV screen. Like,
So you look through the little lens and you call that an experiment?
did I say experiment?
Yeah, you did. You said you did
I
those
said measurement.
experiments. Wait, so looking through a lens is a measurement? So using your eyeballs, you can measure? Wow, that's impressive. I am impressed.
Color spectrometer, spectrophotometer, I think it's called. The closest you'll get to like a mono frequency light is the old sodium and mercury vapor lamps. That's why everything looks weird underneath them. What color is a red MAGA hat under a sodium vapor lamp?
I don't know, but I mean, if the sun is a big ball of gas, right? It's weird how it's producing all these other colors because we know that
Maybe
gas
it's weird.
typically burns one color. You've never seen a gas burn, 8 different colors at once, and in a rainbow pattern.
Yeah, the sun's
It
emitting
doesn't burn in a rainbow pattern on either model. Still,
in a spectrum that goes
What if the sun
above
is
and off
every
the spectrum.
gas? What if the sun is every gas?
That'd be cool.
So it
What
can't
else would
produce every light.
what else would that entail? Would there be any natural consequences of that being a fact?
Oh, I'm not sure. I was just throwing it out there because the sun does produce every light, right? And if light is the excitement of gases, like when you look at the aurora borealis and shit, that's just gases, right?
Not burning though. Well, the aurora is not a fire.
I didn't
is
say
it?
that. I didn't even say the sun was burning.
That's been the
What if it's
nomenclature
just
we use this whole time.
producing? What if it's just producing every gas so that you can see every color light?
It would still produce a
If
rainbow
we're gonna
through a
get
water drop
ridiculous and
and a
just
prism.
make claims, you know.
Sure, and we can entertain hypothetical claims and then talk about the implications, right?
Well, yeah, so it's a hypothetical claim that in your model, the globe Earth, that the sun is producing all the colors. Because how does that work? And why can't it be reproduced?
We can make a bright white light that we split into a rainbow. That's easy. You can do it with a tungsten light bulb if it's bright enough.
So the sun is a light bulb.
No, obviously not. Who was the other guy that was talking? He's the one that you want to draw the line, right? The 400-meter line. Is he still here?
Oh yeah, I'm here all day. No, I
Okay. Did you see
am
the video I
going.
posted yesterday?
I am. No, I probably not. I was just hanging out. I
It's a
am
super
going to
interesting
draw the
video.
line. I just
Yeah.
need to find a wall first. So if you know of a wall in the lower mainland that would be a good site, I'd be interested in hearing it. Thank you.
Here, I'll take you with it. This video is like perfectly encapsulate, but also in a really interesting way about ancient Egypt. All of the issues we were talking about that would have to be considered the other night.
Oh, okay. Hey, thank you. I'll have a look at it in a bit. I'm just trying to change some door latches.
They ain't gonna change themselves. But the video gets super deep into the units
you.
and how it's measured and on what scales, like which different processes can achieve flatness and levelness. It's really interesting. I thought it was really interesting anyway.
All right, I downloaded it. I'll get to it later. Thank you.
Yeah. What do you?
I
What
mean,
do
he
you think?
posted some
Have you, have you
cartoons.
have you seen? Have you ever seen a rainbow where there wasn't rain involved? That's why it's literally called rainbow.
Well, so the rainbow is being captured on the sheet of rain that's falling. That's what's happening. So the rain is essentially the screen that is now showing us that the rainbow that is ever present.
Interesting.
Yeah, because the rainbow never goes away. It's always there. That rainbow is constantly there. It's just that when you see the rain or the back of the rain, I guess you can say, at a certain time, that's when you see the rainbow. So it's just a screen.
So can we create that screen by spraying water in the air?
Yes.
So where's the light when the screen's not there? Where's that rainbow color light when the screen's not there? Where does it end up going?
It's still there. It's still there. You just can't see it.
Why can't I see it?
Well,
And
because
rainbows are
there's
always
no
a circle.
screen.
So what's in the middle of the circle of a rainbow? or at least half a circle.
If you're in an airplane, it's a full circle.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to give it away.
Yeah, on the ground. It just rained. The sun's up behind you. You're looking at a rainbow. What's in the middle? Why is it only projecting a ring onto the screen of the rain? That's a sheet. And I actually have a photo I took myself of a rainbow directly over my head, straight up at my zenith, while the sun was setting in front of me. And it wasn't raining, and it was bending the wrong direction, and the colors were backwards. Where was that projection coming from? Oh, he's gone. No, he's not.
What's the topic?
Rainbows, apparently.
So have you ever seen like on a dewy morning when there's little tiny round drops of water like on the tip of every blade of grass or whatever, and the sun's shining, and each little drop is actually glistening a bright color based on your angle to it, and as you change your angle, the color changes?
Sometimes a single thread of spider web will look rainbow.
Oh yeah. Oh, now he is gone.
It's not like him to get quiet like that, so I think he dropped or got a call or something.
Most certainly.
Because he was. It's got to be 24 hours that he's been going hard.
Maybe his battery died.
Okay. Happens to all of us. As I plug in my phone right now.
Told you I'm working. I need you guys to hold down the chat, please.
That's what podcasts are for.
You guys are my podcast.
I like it.
Has anyone heard if the celestial theodolite is addressing the fact that sometimes it matches globe, sometimes a half-size globe, sometimes concave? Is that just like being ignored completely?
Yeah, it's just a matter of whether any individual measurement is closer to one versus the other. There's not been like a holistic, except for the graph that the x-axis. The x-axis is just row number rather than distance or
How
anything.
about is horizontal even possible in reality?
Oh, it would depend on how you define the word. I know what it means within the context of land surveying and geodetic surveying, although the term is
Well,
a
I would say
horizontal.
straight. Straight. Do you have a new definition of straight?
a diagonal line could be straight. It just wouldn't curve, right? So then straight and
Right,
horizontal
but a
are definitely
horizontal,
independent.
yeah, horizontal isn't diagonal, right? But it's still straight.
In surveying, a horizontal is straight, and it
Right.
is level
Is
at a
that
point.
possible to achieve? Yeah, is it possible to achieve without error
Nothing's impossible
reality?
nothing's possible without
Oh,
error.
yeah, you can't say without error. Nothing is possible without error. I mean, you're gonna have a
Why
couple of
not?
micro degrees of error in the rotation when you put that doorknob on. So you failed.
Thank you. Please don't lie about how you muted me.
No, I didn't mute you, CI.
I know. I didn't claim to. I said thank you for unmuting me. Thank you. Well. What will be the topic of the night or the day, depending on where you're at? Or is that a false dichotomy? Do we not any longer have mornings, evenings?
Siak, would you agree that in order to know about the real, you would have to compare it to the real?
Well, why would we compare to the real? Then we know about the real. Comparing it to the real. It's kind of like what are we doing exactly when we're doing said thing?
Well, the interesting part is you like have these things called you have like a perspective on life, right? And that perspective isn't necessarily the reality of the situation. Sometimes like your perspective, if you stick like a straw in water, it'll make the straw look bent. However, you know that straw's not bent. So therefore, in order to know, what the real is, what the real is, you would have to compare it to the real, like something in reality that does a thing.
Good example. So the straw appears bent or appears as if it's in a different location. But then it's not really in a different location either because it's in the location of its apparent location. So there is something happening that doesn't really distort the straw's position, but through the medium that it is in, is seen elsewhere than where we'd assume it would be and also where it is.
Cool. Yeah. So now what I'm stating is that the perspective is a medium of its own, perspective itself.
Well, perspective is more placed in an interpretation. It's not pure sight. It's not the seeing, if I'm going to use your own language. Or it's not sight, or it's not just true sight.
Well, you know how there's like a thing called laws of perspective, like an object will shrink to this size and this amount of distance and all that. That's due to our perception. That's not due to the nature of physical reality.
Well, it would actually also be wrong to say that it's due to. It's rather because that says that our perception gives makes it the reality, when in fact
Well,
it is by that being a tool, our eyes. It would be more correct to say that our eyes are capable, it has a property or quality, and can do something, specific or specifics, and they are limited to specifics. So it's not our eyes providing the thing reality. It's our eyes beholding the reality of the thing in a specific in a unique fashion that is unique.
Yeah, it's in a perceptive fashion, exactly. So so when you like back away from something, the thing isn't actually getting smaller. Your position is changing from it. So therefore, the reality is different from the perception of the reality.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So if you have always been a fish in water, right, you always have the perception, right? You can't get out of your perception. It's impossible. Therefore, what do you do with that? How do you,
Well,
because you're big into like what is real. So yeah, if it is real, so like this would be the case like for flat earth, right? We go, oh yeah, the reality is there's water in reality. And water shows something, that we don't need our perception to know. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
you're attempting to point to the objective nature or quality or essence or property of the water itself outside your own existence. Like you don't need to exist for the water to be water in this fashion you're attempting to describe.
Yeah.
Would that not be a correct reiteration?
Yeah, that's good. Yep, I agree with that. Yep.
So this is a good way to approach anything, because you are surmising to the very obvious in of itself that you're not talking about your interpretation or perceiving of the thing without the knowledge thereof, but you are pointing to your attempt to understand the thing and describe it. But the problem is that many have a difficulty in this area because they have learned to speak prescriptively, not descriptively. You have different belief systems, or you may call them philosophies, but it's not really philosophy, because philosophy is more categorizing the belief or approaches. So you can have like a main category, and then you can have claims to approaches. For example, you have epistemics, and then you have branches there within, like
Like metaphysics.
or like empiricism. No, metaphysics is not a branch within epistemics.
How do you get rid of the ontology of what you know?
Well, why would one? Well, or why is that something you think is something that is of desire?
No. I'm saying like the water is what it is. And your epistemics,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
come
So
from the idea that the water is what it is.
yes, for those that don't understand ontology, that's the branch of metaphysics that attempts to deal with the nature of being or existence. Being is the same as existence. Having being is to exist, or having existence is to have being, so on and so forth. So your imagination can have existence, but it doesn't mean that what you imagine becomes real, but it's real in your, or by your, or through your, etc. However you want to locate the imagination, it's real, but real bounded by the imagination.
It's
It cannot
really you.
escape the realm. Yeah, it cannot escape the realm, but you can use your imagination and inspire you to do real action in the world, or in reality, or in existence in itself.
Yeah. So then my question would be, how do you explain like there's a conceptual idea of 1 + 1 = 2? Why does that match the reality? What makes that
Yeah,
possible? That matches the reality.
because we have made them to match. They are signifiers for something specific. We have provided an explanation to the role and function of these signifiers. So one is now like we provide language, we describe. This is why we don't prescribe but describe. We make a drawing of something like the number 1, and we make a mark, and the mark is imbued with meaning. The meaning of 1, for example, is the unit of measure, quantity. And then we point to something. We categorize that something. It can be talked about in its whole, unto itself, or in an environment, or a part of it. So each part is its own whole, and also part of another whole, depending on scale. And then we attempt to sort of, through categorization, naming, we attempt to establish something that we can communicate between us, so that we have a more optimized relationship with existence itself. It's an attempt to optimize.
So you're saying it's a convention, like
Yeah,
a
it is
man-made
a
convention. Yeah, I'd say it's just as real as water, that it exists without any man. 1 + 1 = 2.
Depends on convention. Convention just means something in a way that's usually done, but it's not necessarily. It's an agreement, but that's also a definition of convention. So
I just mean
a
created
convention.
by man. I just mean created by man when you say that.
Well, language itself, yeah, and measuring units, all this math, etc., all that is man-made. Yes, it's not.
We don't have any
It's not
evidence for that. We have absolutely no evidence that shows language is man-made.
Well, it's proof unto itself.
No,
We
that would mean
something
it has
to
no.
describe with.
Well, then you're throwing out the principle of sufficient reason.
I understand that that's very important to your religion.
Wait, you don't think that everything has a reason?
Well, who's the one reasoning?
Well, that would be the question. Do you think everything has a reason or not?
So reason is a consideration that counts in favor of a conclusion, action, or attitude, or a fact.
I disagree.
That is something that explains. Then you're disagreeing with the fundamental definition, or one of its fundamental definitions.
Reason, is it similar to like reason would be the ability to come to truth?
Are you speaking of reason in the branch of argument? Or are you speaking of reason in the branch of epistemology? Or part of its theory?
Like purposefulness. Like I could just change it to does everything have a purpose, a sufficient purpose?
So reason in that sense is to be able to, or is a capacity actually, to consciously apply logic and draw valid conclusions from new or existing information. But it's not different from reason through argument, because it still aims to seek truth, whereas in argumentation, it's something that attempts to seek truth. So it's not. It's the same to what I earlier said. But information is not truth itself. Information is a category of abstract concepts that is imagined in the attempt or pursuit of truth. And through the information, one attempts to establish whether or not it is proof. So by the very fact that one is reasoning, we can equally say that someone is contemplating or attempting to figure out, attempting to understand, discovering, journeying. That would be the same as reasoning. Reasoning is not to be able to understand it. Reasoning is more like a quest than a teaching.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. So, yeah, I would say everything in this world has a purpose, regardless of your mind. So, like, water has a reason for its existence, right? There's a
But this is,
reason water exists.
but that's a flawed use of reason.
Well, no, I just used it in the sense of purpose now because I'm limited to the English language.
But reason, that's you're talking about meaning. You're conflating meaning with reason. Reason is the capacity of consciously applying logic to draw or by drawing valid conclusions. So
Yeah, in
it's
the
on.
philosophical sense. Yeah, in the philosophical sense, I'm talking about in the sense of purpose.
Yeah, but you don't need to talk reason into purpose. You can just use purpose and talk about purpose. So
Okay.
you can say,
Oh, okay, cool. We'll change the question then. Do you think that everything happens for a purpose?
now we're going closer to what it is.
Okay, that's a yes or no.
Well, I don't. No, it's not. I don't think that things that have existence don't have existence for by just nonsensical means. Everything that has existence has so. It's not arbitrary or by happenstance. It's not because it just came out of a void. It just happened by luck or chance. It just became. That's a extreme conflation of existence into absurdity. That's a reduction to absurdity of existence itself. And anyone who advocates or promotes that being so is actually has signed on to a death campaign. It's a very apathetic and if I may use it, atheistic way or approach towards existence itself. And it should never be advocated because it's not anything that's going to be fruitful for anything. It's not what a father ever would teach their children. Because then the child would just look at the father and wonder why he hasn't committed suicide long ago. Like why the child will feel as if, why the fuck do I even exist? So you're removing the ground of the child by taking such a position to say that it's just by happenstance. Everything is chance. And that's also the ultimate move to remove accountability from every action in the world. And it's the language of a perpetrator or even a pedophile. So now
Okay,
you
so
hopefully
what is the
understand.
yeah, I get it. So what is the purpose for everything having a purpose?
Well, things having purpose in of themselves, having purpose, or
Think it's just like an evolutionary thing, like it just comes
it's
about.
more rather a property of the being. It has
Well, then
purpose.
that's not a significant purpose anymore. So everything doesn't have to have a purpose. The thing called purpose has no purpose. It just comes about. Just is what it is.
Careful, I did not say that. I just said that that's not how you would come or think about things.
Yeah, so the
I
purpose has to be in the beginning. It can't come about later because all the
no,
things that are there have to have a purpose. So the purpose would be the first thing.
no.
Well, then you
So
don't believe everything has a purpose then.
you're attempting to you're attempting to make this an epistemic bait and switch into a creatio argument.
No,
So
no, that's what
it's
you think I'm attempting to do. You can only perceive it that way. You haven't asked me
false.
what I'm attempting to do.
False. I can describe a cat meowing equally I can describe your rhetorics.
Yeah, I understand that. Do you know when the cat's gonna meow though?
That's besides the point.
No, it is exactly the point because you don't know. That's what I was leading to. So you don't know. Maybe eventually my argument would lead that direction, but you don't know when.
So I do know that the cat meows. I do know that the cat usually meows when it's hungry. And I do know that my cat always meows when I come home with the car if she's on top of the garage roof and no one else is home. And
Yeah, you have
she's not,
predictability.
if she doesn't, she's not there. And if
Bad
she's
kitty.
there and doesn't, she's not awake.
Yeah, so you have predictability. Yeah, there's got to be a purpose to that, right?
That's not predictability. That's knowledge of the environment.
Well, you just said you can predict that your cat will meow if it is on.
Cats are so unpredictable, though.
Yeah, so I can do that based upon knowledge of the existence or of existence.
Based upon the knowledge of your perception of the existence, not the existence itself. Remember, you haven't compared it to anything real yet, like we did with water and.
No.
Perception of
Perception is a
knowledge.
category of the imagination. It's not a perception. It's based upon knowing. I can even be blind and know that that will happen.
That's impossible. You would not be able to know that your cat is on. If you were blind from birth, and you're gonna say you know exactly what your house looks like, and you're gonna drive your car home while you're blind. That's ridiculous.
Listen carefully. You're now moving it into a very conflated position. So I didn't say that I am blind from birth, and neither did I claim to be blind and driving. Obviously, if you can think along, I could have been blind.
You gave me a scenario. Yeah, you gave me a scenario where you were driving a car and you said I could be blind and do that. I just disagree.
Well, I can, in 20 years' time, become blind, and it just still is what it is. I don't need to come home with the car. Someone
That cat
else
won't
can
be there.
come home with the car.
Yeah, but that cat might die by then.
Well, I might have the children of that cat, and those
Do you know
children
the
do
day?
the same.
You think so? Well, do you know the day your cat's gonna die? Is that predictable?
That's not what I'm talking about, dude.
It depends on which life you're talking about.
And obviously, it could just happen in in a day or two. I could be blind tomorrow. I could be blind when I come home, park. Next day, someone at my maybe I'm in a different room. The cat is outside. My fiance drives the car home, and the cat does the same thing. If you're reducing things to what you suppose something is, you're removing your ability to actually see beyond your finite scope.
I agree.
Your
That's why I'm
perception.
asking, why are you doing that? Yeah, why are you doing that? Why are you
Instead of
putting
going,
things into only your perception is what's real? That's what I don't understand when we've already demonstrated your perception can be skewed from the reality.
I don't. You're attempting to make a bait and switch of me being there, but I'm not there. Just calm down and
Didn't you
let's go
just
back
say
to the
that
original topic.
I perceive that I have a cat and that cat meows when I do a thing. Therefore the reality is that. But you haven't
No, you
branched the gap
shifted it
from the
into perception.
perception to the reality. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's what you do. You perceive those things.
So here is you attempting to change what I'm doing when I said I know. You are attempting to change it into perception. Just stop.
Oh, you're saying you know? Yeah, based off your perception, right? That's how you know it? Based off what you perceive?
No.
No,
It's based
okay.
upon knowledge, knowing.
Wait, so you know because it's based upon knowing. You know because you know.
Based upon first
That doesn't
order, not
sound like a
second
purpose.
order.
But
So
that's not a purpose.
Do you understand the difference between first order and second order?
Yeah, but you agreed everything has a
No,
purpose.
don't jump past that. Do you understand the difference between first order and second order?
I would call it a priori and posteriori.
You
Personally.
sure will
How would
call
you?
it whatever fits what you imagine to be the case.
Well, no, a priori is just a better, it just, you could just get the definition and it fits what you're talking about. First order and second order can apply to tons of different things.
I thought you guys would get triggered like hell, but I guess not.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Tell you what, since there's a lull in the conversation, I was actually hit with a question from my coworker when I was talking about, the cosmology debate, and he brought up an interesting point that I didn't really have a good answer for. So maybe someone else will have a good answer for it. But he basically said, "So what you're telling me is we're all observing the same exact reality, whether we interpret it as globe or flat. So let's say it's flat. What does that actually change? Like, how does that change anything?" And my question for the room is, without invoking anything else, what does the shape of the earth actually do to know to know the truth about it? Like, what does it actually do for you? If you invoke huh?
Bro, you sound like my fucking wife right now. Like, what
No, this is
difference
what the
does it make?
This is what my coworker posed to me, dude. Yeah, I know. It was tough.
All right. Well, first,
He's running, you guys.
money. It's a big a grab of you control everything. It's a control grab. You say that you're running out of air, you're running out of gas, you're running out of food, you're running out of space. There's no room for anybody. You got to go to freaking space, which doesn't even exist, to like let the human race live on because we've ruined our realm so bad. Like that whole horseshit, dude. There's plenty of land and plenty of room. It's scare tactics and control. That's what it's
Yeah.
for. That's
Like the
what
next
His
extension of that is how they have the control. Like he said, the heliocentric model of the globe is how you are a slave to the dollar right now, because every single resource that we have, it's be these scarce resources from this process that happened over time, and that's where the dollar value comes in. Is they're saying that these things aren't potentially naturally reoccurring resources where we could just have a sustainable living environment. And so they've put a dollar on it and said that it's scarce. And now you have to scramble and spend 80% of your natural living life to afford to live.
But that has nothing to do with the shape. And this is what he said. I said something similar to that about, well, it's basically controlling the way you perceive reality to make you think that you live in a scarce environment rather than an abundant environment. And he said, well, Mag, this is how he talks. He said, Mag, doesn't matter. Regardless, they control everything. So again, how does the shape have anything to do with the actual mechanism of control? Like, okay, now it's flat. Now what? That's basically what he kept saying to me. But yeah, go ahead, continue. See if anyone has a better response.
Well, now it's flat. Now you know that you don't have to waste a bunch of money on going to a place that doesn't exist, like wasting money on rockets and a bunch of space travel nonsense. How much money they waste on that crap? You could literally solve friggin' world hunger with all that money, and just the whole land problem, and the whole carbon tax bullshit, climate change, all that crap. You throw all that out, man. I think just that would make the economy thrive.
But all
Not
of
only
those
that, you
things.
push the conversation and you push the narrative so more people wake up to the conversation and start fancying ideas like not paying taxes and not feeding into this, to the point where it becomes such a movement on everybody's algorithms that coincidentally within the same year on the algorithm that it becomes popular, the president announces that mysteriously we're going to potentially be making so much money from tariffs that we won't have to pay taxes the following year. So, it's like if more people know, then more people are back in control. Because if they think that it's a globe and think that it is this, that's how those people have control, is by tricking you into thinking that. That's why they sent you through this indoctrination program called school and told you the first thing before you knew how to read, write, or spell, or, identify who you were in a mirror, they told you you were on a spinning ball. And they pumped it into you. And then if you didn't answer their questions right, they mocked you and they held you back in front of your peers and socially pressured you to feel inferior and stupid and not as smart as everybody for not repeating what they told you is reality. So when you start getting people to start conversating against that and questioning the official narrative, now all of a sudden you see all this crazy chaos in the in the news and in the media, where all these things are rapidly changing year to year. They're doing everything they can, scrambling to try to control the conversations that are online right now, whether it's from COVID or flat earth, whatever the topic is, the corruption of Israel being in control. All of this conversation is a threat to this, control system, and they're doing everything they can to try to put that fire out. And that should be
But
an indication to you that we have the power as people.
okay, so basically your argument is, and this is this is where I got stuck too, trying to challenge what he said. He said, so basically the flat Earth movement is basically to cause you to be a skeptic of all things. That's it.
Yeah,
That's its usefulness.
yeah. The majority
Well,
of people, even if they know the truth, even if the majority knows the truth and is a threat to the lie, then the internet will just be shut off. The majority of people didn't vote before,
No,
and they still don't, right? So
no, the internet is how the control mechanism works to begin with.
Well, I'd like
Like
to
they're not
ask you
gonna.
this, Beast.
Yeah.
To your question, did you need to be told what it meant, and anybody else in the room as well? And if you did need to be told, what did you need to be told?
Actually, no, I didn't need to be told anything, but it did lead me to a line of questioning, and this is the exact line of questioning I had, which led me to here right now. Is what else are they lying about?
Yeah,
That's
I've
about
given
it.
a lot of thought to this, really. Like, how important is flat Earth? Why do I even tell people and stuff like that? And I came to the that was my conclusion, that some people just don't even need to be told, and everybody that does, well, maybe they'll figure it out. But that's why I
Right.
do it. The people that
You know what
don't need to be told.
I felt myself doing, Colin? Every single time I would try to bring up a better argument, I kept going back into physics because he kept saying, well, what does this actually change? Like, how does this conception actually change the world? Like, how are you actually going to help the world? And, you actually have to go back to the atomic model, the atomistic theory, materialism, etc., bouncing off each other, and there's no real arbitrary means to why the atoms in my chair aren't the atoms in my arm, etc. And you have to propose like a new kind of conception, like what I was telling them. Like, okay, what if this entire place is electric? Like we live in an electric universe, right? And it's kind of like an alchemical view of materialism, right? But
It's almost
essentially,
skirting around, I think, what the real message is, and that's you matter and you have purpose. Right.
right?
And
No,
so,
exactly. Yep.
so if you go along with this model and in this thought process, you're just an accident. That's what you have to come to the conclusion of, is you're an accident. Everything's an accident. There's no purpose, there's no intention, there's no value, and nothing matters at all. But then when you get to flat earth and not the globe, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, if it's not this accidental cause of events, then we were put here, and now there's the purpose. Now it's, why were we put here? Who put us here? What are we supposed to do? How big is this place? It opens a whole new world. you know, and again, it puts you back at the center of the story with a value.
The only thing is, you can get that with geocentrism without having to evaluate the actual property. Just, I mean, heliocentrists still believe that too, because they believe that the Earth is in the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. Saying that everything is electrical is inflation and the unification of material and spiritual science, and heliocentrum is part of his cosmology. Yes,
Why
it
are you so loud,
you
Zach?
are. Sounds like
I gotta
you
turn it
are.
down, dude.
Okay.
You're super
You're good. Keep
loud,
going.
CNAC. I don't know.
Just lower him. He's fine to me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the unified cosmology that that you're speaking of, that's the same worldview that you created, that you talk about all day in here. Sure, isn't all new, but age old. So, yeah, I agree with the speculation theory that's being birthed. And
Yeah,
I've
I like when
noticed that the proponents in the mainstream are finally daring to come forth now that you know it's becoming more and more in the mainstream. Your metaphysical claim, that is.
there is one thing I was thinking about, and that's what mine just put forth. Like you can still do that with geocentrism, but more specifically, I think it's more so the idea that Earth is the ultimate reference frame for all of not gaining knowledge. Like this entire place, it's stationary. It's you know you have uniformity of nature. Like you can rely on the fact that this place is going to be here until the Most High says otherwise. But besides that, I'm just saying, like, having that conception in your mind makes everything so much more stable and peaceful, in my opinion. Not
Yeah,
really
it's
The
nothing but a
shape.
conception.
the
But it's nothing but
significance
a
of the lab
conception.
frame.
Yeah, speaking of the conception that helps you cope with existence or being alive.
Right, but
I
it's
don't really
like,
see. Not so
oh,
again.
sorry, go
So
ahead,
go
Oscar.
back to the question though. Why does shape matter so much?
Right, but before we ask that again, Oscar, you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't really see how it's more peaceful to be on flat Earth, even if that means that God, puts you at the center of everything. The implications of that is that the world is run by an evil cabal and you're lied to about literally everything. And that's not more peaceful to me. That's more disorienting.
Well, the
Because you have
abundance or
to
the lack
adopt the
thereof.
victim mentality in order to understand the flat Earth position.
Well, the lack of abundance here is artificial. In my worldview, an asteroid isn't going to coming down and crashing. We're not going to run out of dinosaur juice. We're not going to run out of water. All of our problems are artificial. We're doing all of it wrong. Whereas,
No,
in
but
your paradigm, we might get wiped out by a comet. So who cares about global warming anyway?
Yeah, but the
Which
entire
psyop do
world
you
in
want me
that
to care about? Do you
paradigm
want me
is
to care
ran
about
by
global warming, or do you want me to care about comets? Pick one.
Go ahead, Oscar.
in your worldview, the entire world is ran by, whatever, pick your poison, demon, pedophile, lizard people, or something like that. So they control everything. You're lied to about everything from birth, and you actually have no control. So it's actually less control than a comet might hit you.
Yeah, but that's always been the case. Sociopaths have always ran the world because they're sociopaths. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, but that's a necessary implication of flat Earth, right? If the Earth is flat, it's not.
No.
How else
That's
could the Earth be
that's
flat?
that's a necessary implication of human nature in terms of us being in a fallen state. There's going to be people that
Whoa.
manipulate people.
So if
Yeah,
you take what Biasticus is saying for granted, you're reducing the human being into nonsense.
No,
It's a
no, no, no,
you have a reductionist worldview. That's all that is to Aether.
no. I'm saying that there's always going to be evil in this world.
yeah, but there's a big difference between there are some evil people in this world, and the world is ran and controlled by a cabal of evil people.
So adding a high likelihood into your reductionist belief system, you sure can do that.
What?
Yeah. You're still propagating reductionism and what is the correct word?
It's not that, because I was just saying that in response to Osco saying the implication of having a flat Earth cosmology is that the world is run by an evil cabal.
Yeah.
They could have told us that we're on any shape. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. The point is, there's always going to be people at the top who want to stay at the top and keep their families at the top.
Yeah.
And to do that, you have to get a head start on everybody else. And the only way to get a head start on everybody else is to keep them in the dark.
Yeah, adopt the Hegelian dialectic of the Aether, and you will imagine that you have a head start.
I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm just saying this is what they think. This is what people think who look at people as resources or as tools or ends to
Yeah.
their means.
So Biastical has access to the minds of the elite and are now a portal or a tunnel to how they see and think and feel about reality or existence. Just so you guys know, he has direct access to the elite or they.
Hey, don't talk to me like I'm not here, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just talking about you in third person. I'm not talking to you as if you're not here. You're here,
Yeah,
and
that's
now I'm
weird.
talking directly to you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird, dude.
It's kind of weird to hear oneself back in a perspective. It's called reflection.
Okay, make a counter argument.
Why should I why should I be forced into your false dichotomy?
Okay, why is it a false dichotomy?
Because why should I make a counter?
Okay, this guy's fucking annoying.
That's what he always does. That's why he was muted earlier.
Not at all. There needs not be any counter argument to your positive claim.
Are you streaming this bullshit right now, Zynak?
Your preacher says that himself. And
that
I
what
was
you're doing?
earlier muted because I was just having fun with Lion's name, not for monologuing. So that fact has been apparent or made obvious or it's been proved.
Well, now you're just bloviating to bloviate. Could you actually
but fuck-
address what I
fuck
said?
that.
Dude, he's not going to address what you said. He never has.
I already have. I already have addressed it by pointing to the facts of your
she can
actions.
read into the mind of the elite. Like, dude, what the hell? Can you actually just address me like a person and we can have a back and forth? If you actually want to challenge my idea on that, that's fine.
Okay, so it is an idea. Great.
All
The
right.
concept
Anyone
is
else
an
want to
idea.
contribute to the conversation rather than this guy?
Well, you're not contributing. You're fear-mongering.
I'm not fear mongering at all. I was just
Yeah, you
addressing what
are.
Osco said, dude. Osco made
You
a
want to
claim.
address?
He said that the flat Earth cosmology implies that there's an evil group of people at the top that are going to run the world. My counter to that was that there's always been a group of people at the top that's trying to run the world because that's what
That's not a
evil people
counter.
do.
That's not a counter. That's a promotion. It's a
What?
promotion of fear-mongering. Yeah.
Osco, is that not a direct response to what you said? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's a direct response to what I said. And I have no idea, as usual, what the hell CX is talking about.
Jeez.
He's adding fuel to the fire, and it's not a counter. But sure, it is a response if you're going to change words. I don't disagree with it being a response, but it's not a counter.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Can you let me and Oscar have a back and forth rather than you have your color commentary? Thank you.
Yeah, I will make sure to listen into the fear mongering.
Please do.
And the
Thank
victimhood
you.
manipulation, the
Appreciate
mindset,
that.
mind frame.
Okay.
No problem, guys. I'll listen
All right.
closely.
Thank you, Z. Thank
Sounds
you
good.
for your input. Thank you. Okay, Oscar. Do you disagree with my last statement about like there's always been a group of people that are trying to run the world that are evil, no matter what cosmology is being forced on the public?
I think that there are always going to be selfish people trying to take advantage of other people, but that is a lot different than saying we're run by a cabal of literally evil demonic people or something like that. And for this lie to be a lie hidden from the entire world, it has to be a cabal of literally evil people. It can't just be like, oh, some selfish capitalist did this.
Wait, why do you? Okay, so wait, why do you say that it has to be that extreme?
Because the lie is so big, right? It encompasses, dozens of countries that, anyone who's been to space, who sent rockets up, who believe in the moon landing, who pretend like they believe that we went to outer space, who signed the Antarctic Treaty, etc. Like it can't just be a few people. It has to be, the leaders of the entire world.
Yeah, I agree with Oscar because the reality is uncomfortable, bro. Once you start going down the rabbit hole, dude, it's like what's that one quote by Plato? Looking into the abyss and it looks back at you, dude.
It's not Plato, it's Nietzsche. But yeah, if you stare into the abyss stares back.
Yeah, it's scary, bro. At first.
Yeah, but like, well, here real quick, Oscar. I do. Once you get to the end of the stick, like that's ultimately what you come to the conclusion of. But wouldn't you say that there are people that have spread a lie, thinking it was the truth, wholeheartedly, not knowing that it was a lie, and that could easily be spread from person to person to person, just like a rumor?
Yeah, I think that could be the case. Like if what Lion said earlier, it could be a geocentric globe, right? So they could be wrong about geocentric globe, and still think that they're telling the truth, but they're just misled or something like that. But if the entire model is wrong, it has to be like a concerted effort by millions of people, a global cabal. I think.
Not if everyone's all like appealing to experts, right? You would only need the experts to be lying, quote unquote.
Yeah, but any country who's like supposedly been to space or watching these rocket launches or any of that, they would have to know about it. And it can't just be the president at top. It has to be like the space agency people. And it can't just be the head of the space agency. It's got to be like the individuals, the secretaries, the family members, etc.
That's actually false. Let me just add a short comment. That's false. They have already admitted to the fact that the simulation of the space programs were so real that the people who are sitting inside rooms looking at what they think are people landing on the moon, it feels so real that it's just equal to the real experience, meaning they aren't able to actually discern whether or not the people they're talking to actually are where they're saying that they are. So that's the power of the imagination. And since I'm a professionally trained method actor, I can tell you that that is true. I've experimented with such lived experience on multiple occasions because it's my profession. And it is for a fact so that you can, even though you work with your imagination and you enter into a scene and you well know that this is you just acting, the experience is so real, so much so that it overtakes your lived existence and you forget where you are and you live in that world that is the fiction.
You got to get your money back, bro.
I didn't know they taught method acting at butcher school.
I chose to be a butcher after I did not go on to sell my soul.
Yeah, Beasticles. That's why I always resonated with, even though I completely disagree with it. But the Yosuke trans theory, I think it's ridiculous, but it is an actual viable methodology for how they could, like, be a global cabal running the entire world. And no one else seems to have like a viable method for them lying to everyone. Sorry, I'm jogging.
Well, if most are conditioned to be an actor without knowing it because they engage as characters with the world, personas, my personality, my image, the entire language exposes the way the person thinks and feels, etc., about themselves and everyone else. It's perfectly able, or just simply, it's very reasonable that one can make people believe that they are in some locality when they're not in said locality. And within this bounded region, which is a fiction, think that they are doing things when they're not doing necessarily that which they believe to be doing. And this happens all the time, every day. You think you brought your keys with you, you didn't. You think that this person taught X, Y, and Z, but they did not. So you have a countless of proofs of people imagining otherwise than the thing itself every single day. And you're doing that an X times how many? Every single day. So to say that, this cabal cannot possibly do that, that is no longer any valid sort of disclaimer or refutation of any thought experiment. That would be to completely misunderstand human behavior. It's a non-existing argument.
Okay, take a break and let somebody answer. That's 3 times now you spoke. Nobody answered and you kept going. Hold on.
Oh my
Let
fucking god, stop
somebody
crying
respond, bro.
already. Obviously,
Don't
dude, I
just keep
muted
on
myself.
talking, bro. How many times
Shut
do we
the
have
fuck
to
up,
tell
dude,
you?
I muted myself. Cry again.
Control yourself.
Yeah, equally, dude.
Okay.
Yo,
Sorry, it was taking a
settle
long
down,
time to
SE.
respond. I was taking a long time to respond, Osmo, because I actually wanted to see the actual percentage of people that went into space, right? So only 700 people have actually been past the Kármán line since 1961. There's 8.3 billion people in the world, right? The percentage of people that actually went to space comparatively to the world population is 8.433733494 times 10 to the negative 6. So I mean it's way like 1% of 8.3 billion is 80 million. So just think about that. Like it's way less than a percentage, like way less. I tagged you in it. But
Can you do
just so
that
you
for
know,
the? Can you do that for the Marianas Trench now too?
Yeah, it just wouldn't have. It would have. It's not just the people who have supposedly gone to space that would have to lie. That's my whole point. It's the space agencies. It's the countries. It's the leaders of all of these countries. Who are funding stuff. Who are essentially faking moon missions or faking space flight or faking ISS, pretending like they're going up there. It's not just those 700 people who have to pretend. It's all of the inertia behind those 700 people.
right. So let's just say 1 million.
Yeah, but when you say the space agencies, how many people do you think at the space agencies need to be in on it? The janitor? Probably not. The secretaries? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like there only needs to be probably a few guys in on it there.
Right.
20 dudes,
The
maybe 100.
compartmentalization, like this is what they do in the military, Costco. Compartmentalization's a real thing. Shit, they do that in any profession, any occupation. You know what I mean? Like it's not that hard to imagine.
Yeah, but
I
people
think
do
there's a
talk. That's the
quote from the
problem.
guy saying they couldn't tell the difference between the simulation and the real thing. One of the head guys from the control room in Houston or
In
some
Houston,
shit.
yeah.
Gene
So
Kranz.
Yeah,
people,
like in the room. Like that guy can't tell whether it's real or a simulation.
Gene Kranz.
Mystical, just answering your question. People usually do talk. Yes, you can have different departments and whatnot. Okay, but people do talk to each other. I've worked for enterprise. I've worked for government. I've worked for different accounts. People do talk. It's difficult to keep these things, secret. If you know what I mean. It's very difficult. If I'm working in a department, if I know there's this other who works in the other department, people do tend to chat. It's
It's not
very
just the
difficult.
people. It's not just the people who work there; it's their families, it's their secretaries. It's like anyone that they're involved with on the day to day. And for millions of people to be doing that, it's not just like a casual lie, like, "Oh, I'm lying to make more money as the CEO of a company." It's I'm a literal evil person trying to deceive the entire world, and that's kind of the point that I was making. It's not like some weird selfish thing. If you're lying intentionally about the globe, you're a part of a cabal of at least millions of people who are truly and deeply evil, which I think is the hard part to swallow.
See, well, that's not necessarily why someone would lie. They could be told that they can't tell their families the truth or anybody else the truth because of national security reasons, because of whatever. It doesn't have to
You could
be
have
that
got
crazy.
you could have got Neil Armstrong. You could have pulled the Patriot card with all those guys.
Yeah,
Heavy
exactly.
Patriots. Plus, it's not the set. Everyone doesn't. Dude, how many people need to be in on it? Start going through the list. Who exactly do you think needs to be in on it?
I mean, I think essentially the leaders at the bare minimum of virtually every country on the planet have to be in on it. And if it's the leaders, it's also like their cabinets. And if it's the cabinets, it's also the people who work in their cabinets.
Why does Trump?
this
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's go through it one at a time. Why would they tell Trump?
So you think that Trump just doesn't know that the earth is flat? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why would they? I'm just saying. Why would they even tell him?
So that's what we're getting back to. Okay, so then who is the they that are controlling all of this? If it's not Trump and it's not all the leaders, you're saying there's a shadow group above Trump and all the leaders?
True's the
I don't know. You think
self-identified
millions
Jew.
of people have to be in on it. I'm asking you, who are these people? Like Trump doesn't need to be in on it.
Yeah, I think Trump has to be in on it. I think all the congressmen have to be in on it. I think
Why would Trump? Why would Trump have to be in on it?
Because he's the leader of the entire country, right? And supposedly he has access to the secrets of our country, to classified files and all of this stuff. You think that he thinks that he actually got elected, but he wasn't actually elected? It was a fake election or something?
I don't know. I just think that he doesn't need to be in on it. And secret files. Like, we think they wrote the shit down somewhere. Earth is flat, confidential.
Okay, so you're saying that they're hiding it from Trump. Who is the they that are hiding it from Trump? Like, you don't have to give me a name of someone, but like, what is this group of people hiding it from Trump?
No, I'm asking, bro. I have my ideas, but I'm asking you. You said there needs to be these millions of people in on it, and I don't think you could name. I don't think you could name 10,000 people.
Yeah, I couldn't name 10,000 people, period. Like, if you just said name 10,000 people, I couldn't name 10,000 people, yeah. I mean, it's just like this whole idea that
you
if
can't name the groups that would include 10,000 people that would need to know. No, you can't. You couldn't name even the groups of people that would need to know, these millions of people that you think is involved.
Yeah, I think the leaders of every country, the cabinets of the leaders, the people who work for the cabinets, the people who are the congressmen, the elected officials, the space agencies, the scientists
Why would you
who are pretending like it makes total
tell
sense,
them?
so on and so
We
forth.
just went through that.
It's
You don't have
important
to
to be
tell, bro.
paranoid.
You don't have to tell Trump, dude. He doesn't need to know.
But here, wait,
But
real
then
quick,
I don't know why you think Trump needs to know.
real, real quick, Oscar.
The
I
guy
will
who
tell.
runs satellite TV, real quick, Beast. The guy who runs satellite TV, the CEO, the CFO, they don't need to know. They don't need to know. They pay to get a signal out. Their signal goes out. Done deal.
Okay, so who's? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll tell you. Okay, 100%. It has to be the weapons contractors or the defense contractors, to be more specifically. Right? Those would be the people that actually need to know, because whether they are being willfully ignorant or not, if all they're doing is basically checking checking a box and seeing their budget, right? Like, hey, I need 200, satellites, built ASAP, and it's a government subsidized project, and yeah, sure, we're sending it into space, yeah. Well, where is it? Do you have any account for it? Where is the inventory? Like, it's in space. Here's a signal. Like, it could be
All right, bro.
like, I
You couldn't
mean,
name 10,000 people either. Bro, you couldn't name 10,000 people either. When you say defense contractors, who exactly is that? The CEO, the president? Like,
I'm
who do
just
you think
I'm
needs to know in the?
I'm just saying, in terms of like financial incentive, I'm trying to get Osco to see that it doesn't have to be some,
they.
unbelievably evil reason. It could just literally be a budget justification, right? Yeah. 200 satellites, yeah, make them. Yep.
Okay, but
You know,
200 satellites made. Okay, someone has to make this. Yes.
yeah. The
Someone has to make
engineers
it.
are
Okay,
just making them. They don't see them getting launched into space.
they do. A lot
That's
of
what
them
I'm
do
saying.
actually.
When people say
Even
millions of
wait,
people,
Jeremy, 1 second. So when you say like, let's use SpaceX. A very good friend of mine was actually part of it. He was there from day one until the launch.
Was he in on it?
Oh, apparently he was
all
on
right,
it
but
too. Apparently,
Apparently he
all
was.
right, that's
apparently.
okay. That's neat. But when people say millions of people would have to be in on it, they're just saying that. There's not really millions of people. Like, you don't need to tell the president. Congress doesn't need to know. The head of Dish TV doesn't need to know. The head of NASA doesn't. Elon Musk doesn't even need to know, dude.
He does. He
Why
was
would they
there.
tell Elon?
Well, but that was a bad example because Elon, watch it. He was Gitco was involved in every single step of launch for SpaceX. The point of the launching it.
I mean, I think
Not.
Elon does know, but that's just specifically Elon. But yo, do
Bro,
you
the
really
guy in the
think that
control room.
Elon? Sorry,
Hold
hold on,
on,
real
Beast. The
quick.
guy in the.
Let me come on, Jeremy. Come on. Let me just talk to this guy real quick, and then you can
That's
go.
fine. Go ahead.
Do you really think that Elon sent a Tesla car in space? Like, do
Oh
you
That's
really
Lord.
think
not
that
the
he did
point.
that?
That's not the point. That is not the
No, no,
point.
no. I'm asking you specifically. Do you think that that was a real event?
I do think that's irrelevant. Evidence
Okay.
suggests that's irrelevant. Evidence,
Okay.
at
All
least
right.
evidence of it suggests, unless you can prove me otherwise, you can prove it otherwise.
Okay. Go
There's
ahead,
strong
Jeremy.
evidence for it.
So you're
Sorry,
saying
go ahead.
basically goes he was in on it on faking that car.
Dude, there's no way they fucking sent a car into space like that. Come on, dude. It's ridiculous.
But you're saying that Tesla, the Elon is in on it, saying that he knows that it's fake.
Oh yeah, that dude's a known Satanist.
There you go, Jeremy. He's in on it. Go, Jeremy.
We have one person in on
That
it. Maybe it
doesn't
just takes one person.
that doesn't take away from Jeremy's point, though. It doesn't make it not valid. Just because in that one scenario, yeah, Elon knows about it. If it wasn't him as a Satanist or whatever, the point still stands true.
Because at one point you draw the line. You say, okay, these people don't have to know. These people have to know. These people are on it, and these people are not on it. Where does this? Because like when you say people in control room, what do you think they're doing? What do you think the engineers are doing? What do you think the people actually fixing the spaceship itself? What do you think they're doing? They just say there's this humongous machine, this humongous spacecraft we're building. We're gonna put it in the launch space, and what next?
What's your
That's all
point?
they know,
I
though.
build I build parts for satellites for a 9 to 5. Like, what's your point? I don't
Well,
think they're
okay,
going up there.
you don't think they're going. So why do you make them then? What do you think happened?
And you get
I
paid.
get paid good to do it.
Okay, so let's say satellite is a small machine. It's I don't know what sort of satellite you're making. Okay, but again, something like SpaceX rocket. Okay, that size, that it's not a small toy. It's massive, giant. Okay, the people working on it. What do you think they're doing? They're just saying, "Oh, it's this humongous
They're
machine." I'm
working on
working
it,
on it.
getting a paycheck. Yeah. They don't give a fuck if it works or not
That
at the
thing.
end of the day.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the
but so
thing launches into space. Where does it go? What happened to it? Out of interest.
yeah, like once the rocket hits the dome and falls back into the ocean, who are the military agencies, cordoning off the ocean to make sure no one sees it fall back into the ocean and then digging it out? That alone is thousands of people.
No, it's not. That's just Operation Project Nemo, bro. Like that's literally from NASA.
Right. And it's not even like hey, this thing hit the dome. It's the information that they would get is, hey, there's a potential, a potential not threat, but safety risk in this area. Like, coordinate off this area. There's going to be something falling around here, and we need to get it back. That's how it would be presented. It's not that, oh, this thing got launched and it hit the dome. It didn't go all the way out. We got to go get it. Don't let nobody know. That's weird. Nobody would say that.
Because, but
Yeah,
again,
don't.
what about the videos of these things is going all the way up?
Yeah, I've seen
Which you
them.
can
I've seen
track.
one
Which you can
live.
track them. Which you can track them yourself.
What do you mean all the way up?
It goes all the way.
What do you mean all the way up?
You have to be a dickhead, or can I continue to have my current conversation?
You're good,
English
bro.
is English is not my first language, by the way. So
It is a good It is a good question, though.
Look at it.
What?
This thing exit F atmosphere. Yes, and it's been filmed. There's not one. There's
No,
hundreds of them. Okay, so hand wave. No. Okay, I'm with you, Vistical.
I'll tell you no. Why? Because they say that the atmosphere extends all the way to the moon.
Almost touch it. It's not. It's nice strong. It's not. It's not like touch the moon, but almost tiny portion of it. Yeah, we can Google it. Google it actually.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a long way, bro. That's almost 200,000 miles.
It's not a long way, but anyway, how much?
I don't think they went that high. Every video I've ever seen of every rocket launch, and I've seen them live, like multiple times. Every time they go to stage 2, where they detach the boosters, all right, it's the same exact camera angle every single time. And I'm not exaggerating.
No, you are exaggerating.
Dude,
Can I see
no,
the videos? You are
I
exaggerating.
promise you, I'm on the bus, but when I get home, I will show you. I'm almost
I would
home.
love to say. I would love to say.
Do you have time?
Yeah. Well, listen, it's like 12 o'clock in the UK. I need to sleep. But yeah, if I'm around, definitely.
Are we discussing like the budget or just the how fake it is? Or like what's the?
It's both. It's both, because first you gotta see, like, okay, this is definitely bullshit. This is just a show. This is just lights and clockwork for the public. Just like any other company that does like a public demo or public viewing, it's very different from the real thing. Now, you could make the argument that like what they're showing us and what they actually have are two very different things. You can make that argument. I can give you some credence to that, but to say that you actually think he sent a Tesla 3 into fucking space, when you actually look at the footage, it's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. You can look in the mirror of the car and see that it doesn't match. Like, the angle of the mirror would not show what it will show, like what it would be showing. Not to mention, you could see a rat crawl across the dashboard before it gets put into dude. There's just so many crazy things about that.
That was not a rat. That was not a rat. I know exactly which one you're referring to. It's
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that was not a rat. But anyway, yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to. Yeah, definitely. It's the one with a
Okay,
like a
so let
45
me
degree
ask you this.
angle with the engine something like rolling around.
Yeah, what happened to that car? Is it still up there?
That I do not
Yeah,
know.
dude, they say it is.
I'm not tracking it, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know what's happened to
Elon
it.
once in a while will post happy birthday to Starman.
Like, think about that for a second. How is there a car in, I don't know, I guess you would say free fall, falling around the earth without any attitude adjustment? There's like no way to keep its orientation. You know what I mean? How the fuck is it staying in its orientation? Like, there's so many variables about putting something in space that when he decided to do that, I don't even think NASA knew he was going to do that. And it was such a troll move. Like, it's such a troll move, dude. Like, it's crazy. And he got away with it. Like, because you actually believe that that's still up there.
NASA
looks so fake, it has to be real.
Space.
Yeah,
I mean,
he said that, dude.
Nobody owns space.
Yeah, he said
anyway,
that
so
about the car in space.
nobody owns space, so you can do what you want, pretty much. Really.
He did.
You can do it. Yeah, well, that's and Elon is known to be, he does what he wants. Does not give a fuck about anyone at all. He's
Yeah,
well known
that's
for
the
it.
character he's playing.
He is, look what happened to Twitter. Do you know how many engineers he sacked at the very beginning?
Yeah, he's a con man. He's always been a con man.
It's not a con man, I mean, in a way.
He's a con man.
In a way, when he got Twitter, okay, as an example, there's a lot of engineer he had to let go. But again, he's a businessman. I was like, okay, if 10 people can manage this system, why do I need 50 people? Which sort of makes sense.
Yeah,
It's not.
but just like, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, that's it.
I was gonna say, just like Jeff Bezos, right? His origin story. His what was it? Is it uncle? I think it's uncle or grandpa or something like that. It was like the head, like in DARPA, and then Amazon was always in the red, but kept getting bailed out by government subsidies. Like, why? I mean, oh, I know why. Because they control all the distribution across Earth. But for Elon specifically, did you know he owned X.com in 2000?
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware of his all activities,
Yeah. He wanted to
Almost
make
all about it.
a banking system.
And PayPal.
He's also part of and PayPal, right? He's part of the PayPal mafia with Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
You look at Peter Thiel and I can't remember the other guy's name, but dude, they're all part of the same kind of. I mean, I guess Osco. Yeah, I mean, it is a weird cabal that's at the top. I mean, you can't ignore it once you get to that level. So fuck. I think I defeated my own argument right there, Osco.
Yes, you did.
Sarah, isn't it things we know about these particular people what we're told? I mean, we don't actually know these things. And to say it was a rat or an engine part, that's just like perception, what each individual is saying it is. But the fact is, just common sense tells you, when they tell you they put a car in space and it's not free falling around Earth anymore. It's headed off into Mars or whatever. But then they tell you there's not enough fuel for a rocket to get to Mars, but this car can get to Mars. Like, come on, man. It's just not even.
Remember, nothing. There's no friction in space. So if it's moving, we carry on moving. There's nothing to stop it. So if it's heading if you had that trajectory, it's going to carry on.
Yeah, how do you know that? And no, I'm fine with you saying that. That's what I thought too. But why am I told we need all this fuel to get to the moon? Because once we start off in a trajectory towards the moon, you wouldn't need any more fuel. You wouldn't need any more fuel to go to Mars. You would just need a direction boost, from the Earth's orbit, if that's the way they tell you they do it. And you don't need any more fuel. The car gets there, but a rocket can't because it needs all this fuel.
I don't know the answer to that one.
Well, there's a misconception there because according to their pseudo model, you need so much speed to get into orbit, but once you're in orbit, you need another speed to escape the gravity of Earth. So that's a lie right there. You can't have it both ways. If it's in orbit, it needs fuel to get out of orbit. Uh-oh.
Well, I'm fine if someone wants to believe in space. I don't have a way to disprove it, but I have my own theories about, how things happen with the helium and become a superfluid and how that would, hold things in a certain pattern. We can show that on Earth how that happens, but it doesn't mean you have to believe that. And I can't prove or disprove that either. I can only show what we can do on Earth, and so can you. So for someone else to tell me what's going on a billion miles away, I call BS.
Well, I'm with you, but I want people to understand what I said, right? According to their pseudo model, orbital velocity is 17,005 and escape velocity is 25,000 miles per hour. So if they're claiming that it's in orbit, that's one thing. But if they're now claiming that it's headed off into another planet, right? It's impossible according to their own pseudo model. It would need more fuel to escape the orbit. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they showed it as pictures of orbiting the Earth, and then all of a sudden it's going out into infinite space towards whatever, and they're tracking it. Well, where did the fuel come from to release from Earth's orbit?
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of use common sense to figure this out, right? So why are people saying, "Oh yeah, no problem"? Yeah, of course he's tracking it. Of course there's a car up there, and it's, now 1 trillion miles away from us. Of course there is. And oh, by the way, we can track it. Like, that's just fantasy land. And if you want to believe in that to fit any type of narrative, that's your prerogative and good luck. But I just choose not to.
The Voyager is the more impressive one. Forget that stupid car. The Voyager's still sending signals back. That's like a zillion miles out now.
They can't even track a commercial airline carrying passengers over the sea, and they can track these things out in the outer space for trillions of miles. It just doesn't add up.
I want a baller to answer what I said. After knowing now what I said, maybe you didn't know that, right? But how do you think the car without any additional fuel escaped? Of course, I don't believe it, but in your paradigm, how do you think that happened? And now knowing this information, does that change your mind in any way? A baller
No,
that
I am reading about it. I'm reading about it. I knew about the 17,500 versus 25,000, but it's relative to it. According to this, what I'm reading now, I will share the link in a moment. Okay, the car itself was attached to a booster, so that's what it happened. Okay, but then after that, after escape, basically just use sun. It was kind of the sun gravity also helped.
That's not possible. That's not
You
possible
said
according to the paradigm. According to the
why
space
not?
paradigm.
Why not? It's not possible.
I just explained it to you.
No. I did explain how they escaped gravity.
No, you didn't explain. You just read something and believed it. I'm explaining you the model, the pseudo model.
But then
It's
I'm
not possible. If it's traveling at 17.5 orbital velocity, it has to reach 25,000 miles an hour, which is an additional 1,000 few miles. Understand that.
So here's the thing. Again, I use Falcon Heavy. Falcon Heavy went above 25,000. So Falcon Heavy was already in that zone. In
You're
escape
not
zone.
getting it.
If you know what I am
Not
getting it. I'm not explaining it. I'm explaining it. What I'm reading kind of makes sense now. It worked. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know. I'm just reading about it. Then I'm going to
Of
read
course
more
you don't
about it.
know. It's obvious.
But I'm telling you the why. I knew about the numbers. I knew about the escape velocity. I know there was a big difference. I didn't know exact numbers. My apologies. But again, what I'm reading now does make sense. So if the Falcon Heavy was going above 25,000 K, like 25,000 miles, it would be automatic in a it would have that carry on speed with it.
No, but it wouldn't. You're not
I
getting
wouldn't.
it. if it reached
What
that
part?
speed, if rocket heavy, right, the booster, if it reached it at that speed, it would leave the Earth. It wouldn't rotate around. That's escape velocity. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it going in orbital velocity, which is 17.5, and then all of a sudden it changes its speed to 25.
Okay, so I'm not following. Okay, if the
Yeah, I know you're
it's
not.
the
I know.
fact is no, because I don't know what you're saying. That's sorry, my bad. Doesn't make sense to me. The rocket was not designed initially to escape Earth. Well, sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't meant to go off space. Correct?
Correct. It was meant to orbit.
It was meant to orbit, but again, can it not orbit with a high speed?
Yeah, again, this is what you're not understanding. Orbital velocity is 17,500.
Yes,
I
I
gotta
guess
repeat this. I'm not saying I believe this. I'm telling you what the pseudo model says.
I
You
get
gotta
it.
understand that part first, and then continue on with your thinking, with your logic.
I understand it. Again, Icon Heavy accelerated well above 25,000.
Doesn't get it. Could some baller please explain it to him? Please? Could another baller explain it to him? Please? Maybe he'll listen to you. See why they're not talking? Because they know I'm right, bro. They know there's no way out of this. Or else they would have been all over me like white on rice.
Hold on. What's the dilemma? What is
The
it?
Oh,
dilemma
here
is
comes the
here they
baller.
claim
Here comes the baller, Jeremy.
baller Jeremy. Okay.
I can steel man it for you. So if they won't, I will. What's the problem?
Okay. They claim the car, he sent the car, Elon sent this car into orbit, right? Now, orbital velocity is 17,500 miles an hour. So it's orbiting around the Earth, right? Now, then they said it left the Earth's orbit. And I'm telling you, in order for it to leave the Earth's orbit, it needs to accelerate more. And they didn't have any fuel for it to do that, for it to burn and leave Earth's orbit. You get it? So there's no in their
Oh,
paradigm. There's
that'd
no
be an
way.
issue. Yeah, you got to have fuel. If you just have it in orbit at 17.5, you got to get more fuel to like get it going. I thought they said this mainstream story was they sent that shit to Mars or something, past Mars.
Well, that's just it. If that's what they're claiming, even within their model, it's not possible. Unless they had fuel in the car and they burned it, but they said no, it's a regular car, stock car. Remember? And they even show pictures of it. So that there's no way around that. It's a lie. That's catching them red-handed.
Our man just put his foot on the gas.
yeah, he just floored it.
Good job. You debunked the rocket engineers and disproved the car.
See, a non-answer right there. You know if it's an ad hom, they're caught right there. That's.
I mean, what he's saying is right. If you have it in orbit at 17.5, like you need some kind of fuel propellant stuff to take off to get going out of orbit.
What did you pop in there, Jace, since you're making fun? What didn't you pop in with your wisdom? Tell us. What do you think?
Unless what SE's saying isn't right and they did have fuel and they could send it out, like that could be. But for what he's saying right now is right. Like you got to have fuel to get the ISS can't just fly off to Mars if it wanted to, and you would need some kind of propellant.
You definitely would need propellant. I don't know. I never looked at the specs for it. I'm sure SC's totally right and he's not misrepresenting it at all. And he probably did debunk it. But maybe he just doesn't, he kind of missed something along the way.
Pfinky, I'm just
see the sarcasm. I have to be wrong.
I'm laying
right?
it on thick.
They
I'm
have
laying
to
it on
be right,
thick.
even though I explained to them their own paradigm. Right? They
No, you
still
always
won't
explain it
accept
wrong. Every single time you get it wrong. We go
You
look
see
it
that?
up. We bring it back, and then you just deny it. So
You see
You
that?
want me to
That's
go-
a little man coping.
no, there's no cope. Oh, you want me to go look it up?
Yeah, go look it up.
Let me go do
Yeah,
my
I want you
research.
to
I gotta
look
go
it
do
up.
my research.
Just like you did last time, and we came and we made a fool of you. How you were lying about me.
No,
go look it up.
No, I completely
let's
showed
not
that
do
you
that.
lied.
Let's just let him look it up, and then we'll see if he could find something where it did have some kind of propellant.
He does this all the time, bro. He does this
Okay, so
all
now-
the time.
No, you do this all the time.
You see, I love it. Cry some more for me.
No, there's no, I'm not crying at all. I'm gonna go do my research. You may have debunked that completely. But what the claim is that they got into orbit at 17,000 whatever miles per hour, and then they ran out of fuel, and then somehow magically they also boosted it out of orbit.
See, he doesn't even understand it in the slightest.
Thank you. Let me explain. Thank
Well,
you.
I missed the first part, so just explain it to
let
me.
me-
You always miss everything,
Let me
bro.
explain it. Okay, so think it's what he says. Okay, in order to stay in Earth orbit, you need to have roughly 17,500 miles per hour. You know that's the rough speed. Okay, the escape if you want to escape the gravity completely is like 25,000 miles. Okay, so that's the rough idea. Now, what I'm reading is what I think is happening is it just goes boom, kaboom, 25,000. It stayed on that speed, which is not the case. Yes, it reached that speed and it gave it enough to, release this cargo, release the car, which then, escape Earth gravity. But again, the rocket also aren't slowing down because of Earth gravity. It's so not because of Earth gravity, but it also slows down again.
You're just talking, bro. You're just talking.
I'm
Go
just
research it
reading.
first.
I am
This is what I
researching
suggest.
this.
Before
I'm
you come
researching
in
this.
not knowing what you're talking about, like Pfinky just did, go look it up first. Go
I am
research
reading
it.
it. I
Learn
am
about
reading it.
orbital mechanics. Learn about the speed of
Let's see. How
it
about
takes
this?
to leave
Why
the
would you?
orbit, and
How would you?
please don't
Okay.
interrupt when somebody talks, because then you
Okay.
might
Well, how
learn
about
something.
okay? No, because
But
you
if
know
you
that.
interrupt
What
while
ab-
somebody talks like you're doing right now,
What
you
about
won't learn
educating
anything.
me? What about educating about orbital mechanics? How about that?
Just look, bro. If you don't understand what I said, I'm gonna say it one more time.
Because it
Go and
doesn't make
learn
sense. I'm
about the
explaining to
research.
you.
What I say. You're still gonna talk while I talk, right? That shows that you already lost the argument.
Let me know when you finish.
I'm done,
Let me know
bro.
when
I
you're done.
said what
Let me
I
know when you're
said.
done, SC, so I can say something.
Go ahead, say it.
Okay, Made in England posted in chat the Tesla Roadster launched. It basically had a second stage engine, so that's like a second fuel tank. So they got it into orbited a couple times, and then they fired their second stage, and that got them to escape velocity. So basically what Hammer Eyes said.
That's the only way it could have happened. But according to what Elon said, there was nothing. It was just a plain car. They never showed any booster on it. They just showed a car there. So go ahead, find me where the booster was and how this worked.
I mean, the booster might be gone at
Because
that
that's
point.
the only way.
You don't think there could have been a booster before they took the picture of the car, and then they like fired the second phase, and then once it hit escape velocity, then the booster fell off, and then they took a picture of the car. You don't think that's possible?
Don't tell me what I think. Show what you just said.
I haven't done my research on that part.
He's
Obviously,
asking you what you
haven't.
think.
I'm asking you what you think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only case. I said it before. There would have to be fuel aboard. Maybe you weren't listening. They would have to have more
there's a
fuel
second
to send it
phase
out.
engine. There's a 2-stage engine. So there was fuel aboard that they used.
Go ahead and show it.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it. But
you see the cope? He just wants to prove me wrong.
No, it's not a
That's all
cope.
he
It's not a
wants to
cope.
do. And he
It's
does
like
this
well
every
documented.
You're interrupting me, and you do this every single time, bro. Like, I know you have hatred for me, right? I understand that, but
No,
you're
I don't
just
have
making
hatred for you.
yourself look. You're making yourself look foolish.
I have no hatred for you.
exclaim that
I
you're
don't have any
coping
hatred
5
for
or
you.
6
I just don't think you're very honest.
Just,
I think you're
See,
probably otherwise a
point
good
out-
guy.
There's the
out
proof
this
right
is
there.
all grandstanding by SC. Just going to point that out.
There's
Yeah,
another
please
one.
stop
There's
the
another
meta
one. When you
commentary,
prove them
SC.
wrong, this is what they do. I love it. I want you to cry some more for me. Go ahead. I love this.
SC, please
it.
stop sounding like a AI meta commentary bot and go back to have a
This is
conversation.
my favorite
please.
part, man. I love it.
No, I mean, like you're just denying. They had a second
Second
stage
stage.
engine.
Yeah, I put it there. It's in the Wikipedia link.
You're like,
But
well,
anyway,
prove
I
that
will
they
find
had
more.
one. I don't know, like whatever.
Everybody knows they showed the car on its own, no booster, no nothing.
After,
When you catch them on their lie, right? They just go crazy like this. I love it.
Yeah, the car just took off the
after they
ground.
boosted the second time.
So, SC, I just put the links. This is what I was saying. The second person said the same, and I put the link there. It was the second stage. What's wrong
Where
with
was
it?
the
I don't get
second
it.
stage on the car, man? They showed the car in orbit, right, with cameras, right? Where was the second stage? Was it stuck underneath that we couldn't see it?
We've already
Where
told
was
you
it?
3 times. You just aren't listening. Like we can't help you if you can't. If you
Show
can't
it.
listen.
Show it. No, I want to see it. Show it.
We've already explained the phase. Like this happens in like different phases, right? So you understand like the after they burn the second phase engine, the picture was taken after that.
No, then it wouldn't be in orbit. Nice try.
What? Okay.
No, but like, what do you mean in orbit? It's just you're saying you wouldn't be able to see the Earth.
They showed the car in orbit, right? They showed a car.
They showed
in
a
orbit,
picture of a car.
Tesla.
How do you know that was in
Picture,
orbit?
And he had the camera on it, and he says, "Here's the car. Now it's in orbit." Now, in order for that car to leave orbit, there would have to be a booster on it for it to boost it out of orbit. I want you to show me that. Just saying it isn't going to cut it.
The Tesla Roadster launched by SpaceX did not technically leave the rocket. It remains permanently attached to the upper stage of the Falcon Heavy rocket that carried it into space.
So you saw that car attached to a rocket? You hear what they're saying now? They're just scrambling. They're just
it's not.
to find an excuse. This
We're
is
just
my
doing our
favorite
research.
part.
We're just doing our research, Jesse.
No,
We're doing
you
better
didn't
research
do
than you did.
nothing. I said something, and you just came in to prove me wrong, and you can't do it.
No, I'm just trying
the
to
first thing
trying
you
to engage
Google,
the conversation.
You just want to post without having any idea. This is my favorite part.
See, so you should. Okay, how about this? Okay, let's say, what evidence do you have? Because right now we're showing you the links, we're showing the pictures, we're doing all.
You didn't show nothing. You didn't show nothing. I
I
want you to show me the car. Listen to what I want you to show me. Listen very carefully. This is very simple.
No, I'm gonna have to.
No. Don't talk. Don't talk. You ask me a question. Be quiet and let me answer you what I want you to show me.
I want because
what I want you to.
What we're doing now, we're giving you evidence.
No, if you interrupt me, the conversation's over.
No, but we're giving you the pictures now. The people look at the chat, man.
No, you're just mumbling, bro. You're just. This is what I want you to show me. I want you to show me the car in orbit with a booster under it.
There was no booster. Oh no, my god! So do you think this is one of those cartoonish where it has an engine goes? Woo! Is that what you think?
You see that? There's no booster now. We're saying first they said it was a booster. Now you admit there's no booster.
No, that's not what I said. That is not what I said. I said, do you think this is like a cartoon where it has a rocket underneath attached to it, and it just fires it?
That's what your boy Pfinky said. It's not a cartoon. There would have to be a rocket there. There would have to be a booster for it to leave orbit. That's what you're not understanding.
Where would the booster have to be?
It would have to be on the car somewhere.
Where? Could it be on the bottom, the part? Because we don't see the bottom of the car. Could the rocket be there?
You can think it's there. So you're admitting now there's no way for you to show me what you said that there is there, right?
Well, no, I don't. Like, wherever they put the camera is where they put the camera. So I can't see below the car.
Don't ask me the question. Prove what you said.
That wasn't hey, don't interrupt. Dude, quit interrupting. And I didn't ask you a question. I made a statement.
I don't care what you said, bro. I don't care.
What I said was, don't interrupt me. Don't overtalk. What I said was the camera on the car that took the picture, that was a fixed camera. They didn't, like, it can't move down. Nobody can go up and move it below the car to see if there's a rocket down there.
So it was a teeny little rocket under the car. This is what you're saying?
It could be a huge rocket under the car. How would you, like, it could be a huge rocket down there.
You hear that, guys? You hear that? Absolute cope.
No, that's not cope. You're saying we can't move the camera below the car, but you're saying there definitely isn't a rocket there because I can't see it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
That's
saying I
classic
want
SE
you to
logic
show me.
right
Don't
there.
interrupt me. I'm saying I want you to show me proof.
Okay, I can't go up in space and move the camera down, so I'm sorry about that.
That's right. You can't. That's right.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you're fine believing in a story that you've been sold that somebody put a car in orbit. You believe that fact. Then when I showed you that the car is going in orbit and in order for it to leave orbit, it needs a boost, then you came up with some idea of there's got to be. After you learned that there should be a rocket there, you're making up excuses of where you think a rocket should be.
That's not what happened.
This is perfect NASA fanboy. I love it.
No, that's not what happened. When I came into the conversation, I said I don't know that much about it, and somebody posted their research that there was a 2-phase, one phase to get it up into orbit, and a second phase to get it out of orbit. So you can say, "Nuh-uh, they didn't do that," and go up in space and move the camera around so I can see the rocket. But like you're just saying, "Nuh-uh."
No, I'm saying you have no proof, and I proved it.
No, there's plenty. Like there's tens of thousands of people at SpaceX that work on the project, and we don't have to concoct some big conspiracy theory about how they all faked it.
You see what
It's
he's doing
pretty
now?
well documented.
This is the best part, the coping part. I love it. Keep it up.
No, you're the one coping.
No, I'm laughing. I'm showing everybody.
No, I'm laughing.
You didn't know.
I'm totally laughing at you
didn't know
coping.
that they had to be boosted out of orbit. And when you found that out, you went online. The first thing you found, you try to put it up. And when I told you, show me proof. Oh, do you have to have a camera under the car? That's what you guys do. I love it.
Yeah, like if there was a camera under the car, you wouldn't believe it anyway.
There it is. There it is.
Hey, SE, I got a question for you. When you go about your normal day-to-day life, let's say you order a car from overseas and it arrives at your door, do you ask them and demand proof of the floaties that were around the car as it came across the ocean?
See, here comes the excuses now. Yeah, look, man, just admit you've been fooled.
Excuse? It was a question.
Some con man convinced you that he shot a car in space, bro. Just admit it. You were fooled.
Well, convince me you
Just
can
admit
answer
it. You were
a question.
fooled. Just admit it, Essie. You were fooled.
Yeah. Don't throw back what I just told you back to me. You look silly.
No, don't throw back what I just told you.
See, but that very standard, I think Rick asked a very good question, but that very standard, so that car doesn't exist, or that car never happened, that car never arrived at your doorstep, because you haven't seen the pictures you haven't seen the video of the car leaving the factory from wherever you bought it from and reaching to your doorstep. If that's the case,
Look, you can believe whatever
it's
you
more
want.
so
Man.
highlighting that.
You can
It's more
believe
so
whatever you
highlighting the
want.
fact that he has this personality and this rhetorical tactic online when arguing about this kind of stuff. But no one in their right mind acts this way in their normal day-to-day life. He's either doing it to get attention or as a character.
See, here comes the ad-homs. When the ad-homs come, it's my favorite part. This is where you know where you got them. First of all, they didn't even know that the car needed to accelerate to come out of orbit. Then I taught them that. Once they found that out, oh man, what are we going to do now? They went online, right? And they're doing this. This is what you guys do.
Can I be very clear? No, can I be very clear?
And then when that fails, you resort to ad-homs.
No, you didn't teach anything to anyone. What I said, I know about the two different speeds. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact numbers. That's my bad.
Sure.
That's my bad. What I said, when you ask the questions, like, I'm not sure what is the technicality, what is the mechanical behind it. Quick reading is like, oh, okay, there's a 2-stage. And then lovely, read the chat. People are just giving you all sorts of information about it now.
Sure they are, man. Sure.
But, so
look, I said my piece. You guys said yours. The
them.
people listening will decide.
But definitely.
Yeah, this is what SC does. He comes in, he basically makes a claim. He'll say something, and then people actually just answer his question, and then he laughs and says, "Oh, this is how you know you got him, because they just answered my question." Like 18 people showed you a picture of the car attached to a rocket, which you just ignored and said "nuh-uh" to.
Nobody showed
me
a picture
laugh.
of it attached to a rock. Nobody showed that. Not one. And especially you're the one that said it was hidden under the car. So nice try, buddy.
No, it's under the car. Here, Just scroll up in
SC, I
chat.
just tagged you in it.
Scroll
You
up in
showed
chat
a picture
there,
of the car in space with a rocket underneath it.
Why does it have to be
in
in
space. Well, what other requirements do you have? Just lay them all out so we know what it would take to convince you.
Are you guys listening to this? So what are you saying now? You showed me the car with it leaving
attached
from
to
the
the
ground up.
rocket.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's not the
you said you
requirement.
looked
The
at chat. Did you
requirement
not look at
is
chat?
when it's in space, right? And of course, I don't believe any of this. I'm playing in your backyard. You said that car in space, while it was in orbit, got a boost from a rocket. And I asked you, show me this, because every time we saw the car, it was no rocket there. That's
Because
the
you're not
request.
looking straight back at it. You're looking
It's like
at the
if you
side profile.
It's like if you took a picture of Essie's head and then you couldn't see his body because you're so close to his head, and you're like, Essie doesn't have a body. Like, prove to me that he has a body down there.
So you're assuming there was a rocket under the car, right? Is that it? You're assuming that there was a rocket there, and the camera, and it was
We
just
posted
a tiny
pictures for you.
rocket, so we couldn't see it. Is that what you're trying? If that's what you're trying to say, okay, then fine.
No, we posted
That's your
pictures
point?
for you. You just didn't look at them.
No, there's no pictures of any rocket under the car in space, my friend. Nice
Yeah, there
try.
is. I'm looking at one right now.
With a rocket under the car. Let me see it.
Yep,
Where is it?
the
Show
tip
me.
of the
What's
rocket. You can
time
see the
span?
tip of the rocket. You can see the tip of the second stage, and it's inside the larger first stage rocket.
Oh, inside the rocket. So not what I requested. Not the
What?
one in
Bro, they're
space.
they're trolling you. They said just the tip, and then the other one said you got to look back at it.
Yeah, bro, it's all coping. It's all coping mechanism. That's what it
No,
is.
zero cope. Zero cope. You can see it. You just didn't even look at it. That's how closed you are to it. You can't even bring yourself to look at it. Fake laugh.
Look
That's a
what they
fake laugh.
showed. Look what they showed. Oh, you guys are so good, man. Oh, this is good. I love it. Look what Made in England posted. A little rocket.
What? Okay, that's a fake laugh. But what is?
I love how
Yeah.
funny that he thinks this is. This
I
is
didn't
great.
think I'd laugh today, man.
This is so good. Fakest laugh ever.
No, it's not the laugh that is fake. The image that you sent.
It's unbelievable what they believe, man. It's just truly amazing.
Do I need to show you the same image with the unicorn instead of that? And we should use the unicorn?
Bro, I feel sorry for you,
You'll
bro.
just
That's all
have
I
a
can
draw.
say.
You just sent a drawing in the chat. You are asking people to just believe that drawing.
Scroll up. Scroll up higher. Just scroll up a little bit higher.
Because do you see the actual pictures now? The real pictures, not the CG, not the animation ones. The car.
Like 451. 451 and 450.
$50 past the hour, the one Earth Life posted in the studio, that one? Are you guys serious?
Compared to the one that you sent, that's not a thruster that underneath the car, and the both images in the top.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the one that is in 51 minutes after the hour, and the one that is 50 minutes after the hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
You gotta be kidding,
Just
right?
nuh-uh. Oh, it's in a studio. It's fake.
No,
I mean,
that's
is that
actually
what you think?
That is a
in
response
space?
that we would expect, but it's kind of a weak
No.
response.
This is beautiful. So this is what you're showing us proof. That's
Yeah,
what
those
you
are
think
photos
is in
of the
space.
car. That's a fake laugh.
Oh man, I'm so happy, man. Like Pfinky, every time
It's
you
a
do
cope
this, bro,
laugh because the only response you have is nuh-uh, this is in a fake studio. That's cope.
you're showing something inside a building, bro, whatever, and we're asking you to show it in orbit. Like, do you realize how silly this is? What can you do but laugh?
What I'm going to do is
That's
all
I mean,
you can do
that's
is
pretty
laugh
much all you can
because
do
you
is laugh.
can't engage. Yeah.
I am engaging. I told you many times, you're not showing the car in space. You're showing to us what other people think is in the studio. How do you think that shows anything?
It's
Like,
not a
it's
studio. Just because
remarkable.
you think it's a studio doesn't make it a studio.
But how is it what I asked? Is that car in orbit?
It's not like we're not here to just go up into space and take the picture at the exact angle you want.
No,
Like,
you're
if
here
that
trying to make
picture
fun of
doesn't
me, and it's
exist, I'm
not working,
sorry.
bro. It's backfiring on you. You just don't realize it.
I don't think it's backfiring at all.
Okay, all right. Just remember, this is
Why don't you-
tape, right? There's people
Why don't
listening
you
to
guys?
this. This is tape.
Why don't you guys just hit up the Himawari and have them, turn and take a picture of it?
You know, Himawari doesn't have the normal cameras as you think. The cameras on Himawari is not like a off-the-shelf camera you buy typically.
No, he
they
thought it was a
operate-
tintype camera on Himawari.
Yeah, he knows he's just coping. This is how they cope. Say, nuh-uh, it's a studio, and why didn't you take the exact picture I want from the angle I want, like whenever I want?
So how about this, Pfinky? I think I have a suggestion to fix this problem. We email Elon and say, can you please take some more pictures because
You
The
guys
flat
are
earthers don't
embarrassing
believe
yourselves.
it's real.
Exactly.
You're
yeah.
embarrassing yourselves. For real.
I think you're embarrassing yourself.
See, you started quite strong, but you kind of, I think we should change the subject. I think
Well, no, you should change the subject because you have nothing, not one leg to stand on. You were asked to show a booster under the car in space, and what do? You show a car inside of what you said is a rocket. Like, that is truly bad, bro. Like, if
we
you think you
explained
did
you the
anything there,
process. We
it's
explained the
fine.
process.
And that
we show you
every
the
time that
picture.
I talk that you interrupt me goes to show that, yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
you just
my bad.
lost this argument.
My bad. So again, we showed you what happened. We showed you the mechanics behind it. We showed the process behind it. So the second stage, these are the pictures of it. And when they're building it and whatnot, this is what happened. And you're just going, nah.
You can't see anything behind it. The rearview mirror is gone.
I'm not attacking you again.
This is too good, man.
Definitely good. You made my day.
Like, why must you believe this? Why can't you say, you know what, man? SC, you got a point there, man. In order for the car to leave orbit, it would need a boost. I don't see a boost there. Like,
Sorry
why
to-
can't you just admit that there's something funny going on here? Why? Why
Sorry to
must you
disappoint
believe
you.
this? And why
We can all
must you
say
interrupt me?
that we can't see a booster in the side profile shot of it. And then we can say we have photos of it on Earth with the booster behind it. So that's there you go.
Well, if that does it for you, buddy, it's good. It's good enough for me.
Well, as I pointed out earlier, no one lives their life with the amount of skepticism that you are putting forward because it's unreasonable.
That's an ad hom. That's an ad hom, and it doesn't further to the
What
conversation.
did I say about you as a person at all? Nothing.
That's an irrelevant statement you made there. I noticed something that doesn't comport with what your ball fantasy says, and I pointed it out to you. Now, if you don't want to see it, that's on you, bro. It's fine. Keep on believing that Ellen put a car in orbit, and that car left orbit and now is traveling to Mars. That's on you.
No one
problem.
said it's going to Mars.
Or wherever it's going.
Just floating.
Why do you have to just straw
Exactly.
man and input such falsehoods into these statements? Does it make you feel more like reasonable in these wacky accusations you make?
See, that's another unreasonable statement you just made, right?
It was a
Because
question.
I said Mars, take away Mars, and it left Earth orbit, just floating around in space. Does that make you feel better?
Who said it's left Earth's orbit?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? After all this, after the rocket boost, you don't know that it left Earth orbit? This is my point, guys. They just
At least you're conceding now. Hey, at least you're conceding now that it left Earth.
This is my point, and they're not going to let me finish the sentence because they know it's devastating. After all this, Rich doesn't even know that the car left orbit. That's what we're talking about. And the booster, that's why it's amazing, bro. It's truly
It sounds like you
amazing.
learned something. You learned that there was a second stage and it did leave Earth's orbit. So that's we
And here
made
comes the
progress.
partner
We
coming
made
in to help
slow,
us.
tiny progress with you,
watch
SC.
this. Watch this, SE. Yeah, I was wrong. It left Earth's orbit.
Thank
That's
you,
so
sir.
hard.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
And all I didn't say it didn't leave orbit. I just said as far as I knew, it didn't. I even hedged. So there's no
But
need for
Rich,
you to
that was
be.
the whole conversation, bro. Because the second
Well,
boost, that was the whole.
no, your whole argument is that we need a picture of it in space with the booster, or else we're dumb for believing in it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable how you guys talk. But anyways, people are listening. It's recorded. It's on tape. Believe
See,
what
I
you want.
just tagged you and the video ASIC or SC4 ASI4. Okay, please watch the video, and I put the time. It's 1 minute 31 seconds. Okay, watch it, and it just explains exactly how it worked. That's it.
You can
That's everything
explain
we said.
anything you want. That's
No, I
not.
don't
We
have to
don't want an
explain.
explanation, bro. We want to see the second stage rocket that you guys think are on that car. It's very simple, bro.
That
Very
video,
simple.
okay, that video, it's only
Does it
5
show it?
seconds. It does show it. It shows it. Have a look. It's 1 minute 31 seconds. It's only 5 seconds. You just need to watch. That's it.
And it shows a rocket under or behind the car?
Can you please watch it?
Yes, it does, and it also shows that I was wrong. I was wrong, Hammer Eyes. It also shows the rear view mirror that I said wasn't there. I'm also wrong.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, let's see this then.
Get ready for the big fake laugh.
Exactly. You're spoiling it now.
Wait, you saying it has a river mirror?
You don't see the pictures? I put them. I put them in the chat right there on the video. He put it 8 minutes after the hour.
You saying it has a river mirror?
In the video he shared in that time at that timestamp.
Wait, that thing didn't have no river mirror.
Let's see, we have a comment that somebody wants me to read. It says, "SE, you literally cannot get an ass view of the car. They didn't mount a camera there. I know you want to see the ass of the car. We know you love car ass."
Is that like a super chat?
This is definitely not real.
It was like a super chat, but I think it was free. But maybe they're paid. I don't know.
No, Elba. I mean, like full disclaimer. It's a cartoon video that shows the rear view mirror and the car being attached to a rocket. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's definitely a 3D animation.
Just the idea is it just explains what happened or how
Yeah, and it shows this is the thing that they actually built at SpaceX.
Okay, I just watched the video. I didn't see no rocket. I just saw a light in the sky. Are you guys serious? Are you serious? That's what you posted.
You see the light?
Please, guys, go and watch the video they posted. You're gonna freak out. That's what you posted as proof of me asking you to show where the rocket is under the car. A light traveling across the sky. Really?
That's the model. That's what they built. Yeah.
Also,
Fake laugh.
why didn't they put like some solar panels so they could transmit signal and recharge the batteries so you continue streaming?
I don't know. When you build your rocket that has a car on it, you can do it. You can put cameras wherever you want. You can do whatever you want with it.
I implore anybody watching, watch the video they claim, bro. Watch the video. You tell me. You tell me. It's
I literally
unbelievable.
put it now with a timestamp.
What's it proof of?
They say it proves that there was a second stage booster rocket underneath the car to send it out into space.
What? Gotta be
Yes,
kidding.
ma'am.
I just put a picture of it from the video in chat, and behold.
We have telescopes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, there's the picture, a screenshot from the video that they're talking about in the chat.
Oh yeah, that
They
absolutely looks
claim
real. Oh my god.
they claim they can see planets from other solar systems, like other galaxies or solar systems or whatever, in our home-based telescopes, but we can't make out a car with a booster. Why can't we
Planets are
see this
really
stuff?
big. Cars pretty small.
Oh, really? But they're really far too, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're really big, like
They're
way
really
bigger than a
far.
car.
But isn't a planet about the same size in the sky as that little bitty car, which is much closer?
Well, it's further away,
we should
but
be able to
like
zoom
you're
in.
saying, that shouldn't the car have a larger angular size than a planet?
No, I'm saying
Here, I'll
shouldn't we
find a
be able to
picture. I'll
zoom
find
in
a
on it
picture.
and
You can see
see?
how big it is.
Shouldn't we be able to see it from our amazing telescopes that can see so far into deep space? From here?
You want to see the car? If you have a very,
Under a
very,
telescope?
very
Yeah.
massive telescope, I think Professor Parks, if he's around, he can explain. I don't think he can see with a normal telescope. I very much doubt it. Like Pfinky said, it's tiny compared to what's out there. It's extremely tiny. Good luck.
So what took the picture there that No Tanks posted that you guys think is real, which is mind-boggling? What took that picture?
That's a 3D animation, SE.
Oh, it's an animation.
Yeah, I said that. I
Oh,
said that 10 minutes ago. We all did.
it's unbelievable.
Unless you think
how
they
guys
launch a
believe.
separate rocket to fly right next to it and take pictures. That's what you want, I know, but I don't think they do that.
So again, they didn't produce what I asked again for the
We
fourth
didn't.
time.
We didn't. Yeah.
No,
I
no,
don't as far as I know, they didn't mount the cameras that you wanted, and I feel bad about that.
Same.
Because if they did, you would believe it, but they didn't, so now you don't.
Hear that? Another excuse.
Like, what do you think the reason is, guys? Like, for like the way that, like, you know, they're gonna do this like this go around the moon thing, and they'll show one camera, like, right? So it's like, oh, you know, view from here, then it'll phase to like another view. Is it so that it captures like that's you on the rocket, like showing like only one person's. You don't, you know, because I can't look in front of me and behind me at the same time, you know. So is it trying to like capture the idea that you're in space? Is that the reason they don't show these multiple views?
I think
I
we
don't know
need to
why.
get
I don't know why they
Pettit.
don't put all the cameras that you guys want. You should write your local, write SpaceX and see if you can get them to put more cameras on.
Yeah, we just need to get Don Pettit and Elon Musk in here, and we can tell them all the camera angles we want, and they can do it for us.
I mean, you're going to space. I don't know why that wouldn't just be automatic. Record every piece of everything. What if, for posterity at least?
I'd
You know,
put
why
at
would
least
you not?
100 cameras. I'd put 100 cameras on it.
Yeah,
You probably only need a few 360
I'd put
cams and you'd be
1,000
straight. Like you don't need
cameras.
you don't need 1,000 cameras. You could probably cover the whole ISS with 4 or 5, maybe 10 360 cams or something.
Yeah, but they need to be controllable from the ground. So we probably want 100 so different people can log in
360
and
cams.
like in the
And
ground or whatever.
360 cams, bro. What do you got to control with a 360 cam?
Pinky, I'm
I
just saying,
think-
bro. Like, I have more cameras out front of my. I have one on my tree, one over my garage, one in the corner of my. More cameras on my house, just out front of my house.
I know.
It's
I will guarantee that when you launch your rocket, you're going to put a ton of cameras on it.
Yeah, I think that iPhone has more cameras than their rocket.
It's possible. Like I mean, if you guys want to, you guys could launch rockets, put as many cameras on it as you want.
I mean, that's just the front. I got one on the deck, one on another tree. I got one by one called garden camera. I got tons of cameras just on my house. They got a
Those
rocket going to
rockets-
space.
No, those rockets that are launched are supposed to be ours normally because it's made by the tax that we pay, isn't it?
Yep, taxpayer
Yeah.
money.
So
Yeah, but
they should put the cameras to let us see.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Tesla car.
SpaceX isn't NASA. They can spend their money however they want, and they put it looks like 2 cameras, one on the side and one on the front, and they felt like that was enough.
If you don't think so, then you don't think so. But everybody here knows that they're putting cameras. If it's them, if it's you, you're putting cameras everywhere. These guys, for whatever reason, you say didn't want to.
but you don't give a shit. You just
Then
want to
why don't you
monologue.
use, if you know something, use your time talking to share that information instead of attacking people.
Because you keep talking over me.
I did
Duh.
not. We literally started talking at the same time. Can you continue with information and
Not
stop this
this
pettiness?
time, Taylor, for like
No.
the last hour.
She just
For
wants to
like
be
the
fighting. She
last
doesn't want to add
hour.
anything.
For like the last hour. Rob!
Okay,
Is there
guys.
a mod that can get
This is
control
not
over
good,
this?
guys. Come on.
Stop it,
SC,
Robert.
save us.
This is
SC,
totally
save us. Let's talk
unhinged.
about
This
Russia or
has been
something.
going on, Taylor, for at least an hour that
Okay,
you just
she's
keep
still
talking
attacking
over
me
me and other
personally.
people.
Is there not anything in the rules about this server about personal attacks?
What am
Yes,
I
let's not
attacking?
attack each other. Let's
Okay, let's
calm
not. No,
down.
she continues doing it.
Stop. Nope. That was an accusation. How is me saying you keep talking over me an accusation when we can go
That is
back
not
and
all you're
listen to the
stepping in to
VC?
do. You're
We
saying I'm
can
just
go back.
propaganda. Me and
Can
Eden
you
are just
shut up?
propaganda.
Can you
Like,
shut
come
up?
on. Somebody's got to get control of
Okay,
this.
I'm gonna
you
mute both of
not-
you guys. I swear I'm gonna mute
Can
both
you
of you.
not
if you don't.
talk over me?
I'm fine with that, to be honest.
Let Coco go. Let her get her thing out, and then you can
Dude,
go,
she's
Taylor. Come
literally
on,
just
guys, please.
attacking
Man.
me.
I
How
know.
is saying, what do you mean you know, Essie? All I'm saying
That's
is
all
that
you're
she
doing.
keeps talking over me and other people. How is that an attack? Tell me how that's an attack. Tell me how
Add to
that
the
is an
convo.
attack. Taylor,
You're talking
shut
about
up.
me
You're
right
talking
now.
over me.
Okay,
Literally,
okay,
you're
Coco,
talking
please.
about me.
I
That's all
get
you're
what you're
doing.
saying. You think she's interrupting. I understand, but you keep coming in and saying
I
things, and
want
but
to
now
know
let's
how
cool it.
saying,
Let's cool it.
Gobs,
Coco,
shut up.
She's out of
Essie,
control.
Essie,
you gotta stop it, Coco.
Essie,
Please.
how is me saying that she keeps talking over me and other people and attack when we can listen back to the VC and hear her talking over everybody? That is not an attack.
You're still talking about me.
That
You're
Okay,
using
is
all
not
your time to
an
talk about
hold
me.
on. Oh man, guys, please. I accept that you think that she's interrupting, and maybe she did interrupt once or twice. Okay, we hear you. Now, can we go back to logic? Do you want to make a statement? Like, what is in the Mockingbird thing? Let's get to the topic, because I want to hear about it too. But can we do it civilly? Go ahead, Coco. Tell us.
Well, Mockingbird was actually mostly with reporters, not with movies. They did do some movies that were scheduled to go overseas where they put the US in a better light than they put other countries. But if you read Mockingbird, it was with reporters mostly.
So under half of the original Mockingbird documents are redacted. Over half of them are redacted. So we only have access to less than half of the FOIA documents on Mockingbird. There was actually 700 pages. And we've got released 78, which still has stuff, project summaries and analysis. These are not original, from my understanding. Either way, all the documents on FOIA are mostly redacted for the most part. So I guess we only have portions of a summary. Like, are you serious?
Do a new FOIA and see what else has been released. But where are you getting this? Is this from what I posted?
No, it's from a CIA document. This from a CIA website
For
source.
fuck's sake, I posted from 3 different sources. So again, you didn't even bother looking at them, and yet you're here proclaiming we only
I have been
have
outside
78
in my
pages.
garden.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm outside working. I already said that. So the 78 pages that were released were not all original documents.
Oh my God. So you're outside in your garden. You have no way to look up any of the stuff that was posted. And yet you're still sitting here talking over people to give your view of what's going on. Is that what I'm
Operation
hearing?
Mockingbird has
That's what I'm
not
hearing.
been released.
So then
The
basically
original
you're
documents.
useless because you're out in your garden.
I can cite what I'm saying right now.
Funny you never call her out for talking over me, which she has done quite a bit.
The only time I've
Quite a
been
bit.
talking over you is when you're just sitting there talking about me. Like, come on. You're not adding something to the conversation. You're just
I
talking
am
about me.
responding to Rob, who is yelling at me for talking over you, but never yells at you when you just talked over me again. I'm allowed to
I'm
talk
just
to other people,
requesting.
Taylor.
I did not
I'm
talk over you.
allowed to answer other people, Taylor. I'm allowed to.
Okay. Are you finished? Because if I start talking, you're going to say I interrupted again.
Go for it.
Please stop talking about me.
Saying
chill.
you are talking over me is not talking about you. It is
Dude,
just saying
you are
that
obsessed.
you see you're talking over me again, and I don't hear Rob
I'm
saying
just
anything about
can
you
we just like
talking over
deafen
me.
each
Okay,
other or
I don't hear
something?
Coco, can
Rob
you
saying
please save
a
this for the
word. Eden,
I'm
shut
just
up.
tired
moderators
of
in
you
the
yelling
text
at me,
chat
dude.
because you're wasting
Okay, you
everyone's time here,
guys.
Stop
Coco.
What?
talking
Okay,
over
whoa.
me.
Coco, please stop. Please stop. What is going on, you guys? Like, is someone else modding this? Because this is like, why are you guys
I'm
No,
trying,
yelling?
nobody's
Red, we
but
were
trying to
having
do
a
it's
anything
kind of
about it.
difficult.
conversation.
Yeah. Please save us, Redford Bear.
Oh,
Please
okay.
save us.
Can we just go one at a time? I don't know. Yesterday too, everyone was really over talking everybody. We can't hear you guys. So if we can just try to let the other person get it out and get back to the topic. What are you guys talking about? Government stuff? It's ironically dividing us.
Okay, we're talking about how the government is dishonest. They don't have any serious laws that prevents them from lying to us. And there should be, because there's laws against people lying to the government. There should be repercussions for the government lying to its people. That's how it originally started. And, Operation Mockingbird was brought up about the CIA being integrated with the people, with the media. And now we're talking about the documents on that. And they posted summaries in 2020 with parts of the originals, but the original 200-page document has not been released.
Is it supposed to be getting released? Or have they like mentioned? If you're sorry, I'm not super familiar with that document. So are they planning on releasing it?
That I would like to know as well. I think they can make things above top secret so they can have like never release it essentially. Like just keep pushing it back.
Yeah. But it is interesting because I've thought about that too. Like, with the uproar of everything going on, just what you're talking about the government, where it's like, well, if the government's doing these things and no one's holding them accountable, like how do you not allow, like how do you get around that kind of thing? Like you're saying, if there's no laws, but even if the government made the laws and if no one's holding them accountable for upholding those laws, like I don't know, it just like, seems like such a mess with a lot of things.
Yeah, what was released was like a memorandum discussing surveillance of certain journalists, analysis reports of articles, contact list, and identifying journalists and their sources, a bigot list showing who within and outside the CIA knew about Project Mockingbird. Wow, they called them bigots. That's crazy. So this appears to be what's in the documents we had released. This is within fragments of the original documents that have been released.
Wesley, I think you're hot micing. Unless you want to say something, feel free.
No, thank you. I was. Thanks.
All right. Well, I actually like, I find like MK Ultra. I don't know what's talking. I don't know what's happening. But MK Ultra I find is really interesting. So I know I've heard of these like other operations, but I didn't know that one still had documents to release. I'll maybe go take a look at it right now.
Redford, you must have some special powers because I was trying to bring this under control for half an hour now, but welcome. Thank you for being here.
By the way,
Oh yeah, no
I
problem.
really appreciate that because
I
I
do have to
cannot
go.
stand just being screamed at.
So I don't want to like necessarily drop a bomb, but there is a difference. I think you may have found stuff about Operation Mockingbird, which is like a wiretapping of journalists, whereas Project Mockingbird, but the Operation Mockingbird was different. It was
Okay.
I'll
stand
post
corrected.
the
So
Wikipedia
Operation
page
Mockingbird.
has two different pages on each, so I can post those.
Let's see. Okay, let's see what I got.
But I think in general, I don't raise it as a gotcha. I think it's like
Project Mockingbird, and you're saying
legitimately Hold on, dude. I'm in
Operation
the middle of
Mockingbird,
talking,
right?
and then you start talking. So
I'm asking, I'm looking at,
I
I
know,
said,
but I'm in the
hold
middle of
on,
a
let's see,
sentence.
because I'm
I'm in the
literally
middle of a
looking at my
sentence,
doc. I
and then you
wasn't finished with my
interrupt.
statements
Stop
because I said,
talking.
can you
Bro,
stop,
dude,
Coco? I
are
actually
you
wasn't
Okay,
kidding
finished.
me?
guys. Okay,
I
no, no,
was
no, no,
not finished. I
no.
said, hold on, let's
No.
see. I had a
You
question
said
for
that in
him.
the middle
Then
of
I
being
proceeded to
making a
ask the
sentence.
question. Is
No,
the
In
one
the
you said
that
that
middle
in
you're
the
of
talking
his
middle of
about
making a
project?
actual
Okay,
statement.
I have
Guys,
been
hey,
over
no, no,
talked.
I don't want to. I don't want to start reading
I've been
people.
over
I don't know what
talked.
it's Taylor. Please just stop for a sec. What
Okay,
it sounded
was I
like
not
was
talking
no, 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 no,
first?
no. I know. Can you just stop for a second, please? It sounded like yes, Pinky, or however you say your name. You were talking, and I don't know, Taylor. It sounded like almost you were reading something out loud. But I don't know. I know he was trying to talk, but can we just maybe wait for him to finish what he's saying? I know it's hard if you have a question in between, but that doesn't seem to be working if you try to ask him.
Yeah,
He's
she's been doing it
right
all
now.
He said,
freaking night. It's
oh,
crazy.
really?
Can I make my point now?
Okay, so you're saying wait, someone's saying
Go ahead,
project and
bro.
someone's saying operation. Is that what's like? I don't know. That
That's
like
what I was
everyone was
There's
asking.
two different ones, and I'm trying to just
Okay.
make a point. I got to go.
Okay,
My point was this.
so we'll let you go.
My point was this. Like, it's not about, like, sometimes the government may do propaganda and then you're like, ooh, I agree with that, right? Maybe it happens to align with your political views. Maybe you are pro-war, or there's a certain war that you're in favor of that the government's pushing, right? But like with most things, we should be opposed to them, because eventually that's going to change and different people are going to come in power, and then they're going to start pushing a different message. That's kind of why I brought it up, is because I figured you're probably anti-communist. I am, but I still do not like the idea of the government going and pushing any sort of like political type message through the media.
So it was the church committee. Here's a quote from